Well, how's it going, everybody? Andrew here.
And Caleb.
We have some special guests with us. Introduce yourselves.
We should probably start with the extra special one.
Oh my god.
My name is Mitchell.
I'm Kyle. And I'm Josh.
And welcome to the LCR podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Lights, camera, reaction number
44.
45.
45.
45.
Off to a great start. It says it right.
Does it?
45.
Ah, 45.
45.
Look at you guys. You finally made it. 45 episodes in. Mitchell was on the Aquaman one with the horrific audio.
And horrific.
And now the audio is hopefully a little better. 3 mics betwin 5 people. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes. Instead of one
see that
mic.
Mitchell already leans to the left, even though the mic is to his right.
I forget where I'm talking to.
But we are going to be talking all spoilers for Zombieland 1 and 2. We can talk about
Double
one.
tap. Double tap's like the
actually
official subtitle for it, right?
I don't think there's... Is it a Zombieland 2? I thought it was just
No,
Zombieland,
it's just Zombieland Double
Double
Tap.
Tap.
Yeah, so there is
But
no
like,
2.
I thought like the 2 is like
Yeah, like the 2 somewhere in there.
the 2
I
somewhere.
don't know. When I looked at it online, I was like, I'm
You
not
know what?
sure.
swear
it's
it's
Zombieland
just
2.
Double Tap.
I'm gonna
There's no
look up
2.
the
Point being, this is
looking at the
officially
poster.
Zombieland 2.
Double tap.
Double
Sir.
tap.
The double word is the 2.
And there were definitely some double taps in this movie.
Ooh, look at that. That wasn't me like celebrating. I was going off his thing. Boom.
What?
Look at that.
Oh, it says Zombieland 2 in the poster, but it doesn't
Yeah.
say 2 in the title of
That was,
You're
showings
wrong.
and
that
whatnot.
was like the teaser. Okay, anyways.
Too many T's, 2's, doubles,
I think
alliteration.
this is going to be a lot of spoilers of just our favorite jokes. Because
Yeah.
that is pretty much what this movie is. Just a bunch
If
of jokes.
anything, make sure to check out our initial reaction if you haven't seen it for all the spoiler-free goodness
But obviously,
and more in-depth
you're
stuff.
watching this, you're a fan. And I can say I'm a fake fan because I only saw the first one yesterday. So,
Still don't understand it.
but I really enjoyed the second one, I think, more. But I think let's just get talking. Ooh, Kyle disagrees. You like the first one more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the second one's funnier, but I like the storyline and everything of the first one. I
can
think
see
it's
that.
a more well put
Yeah.
together movie.
I mean,
It's like I said that earlier.
Did you?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
I
the,
don't listen to
fir-
what you say half the time anyway.
the first one has to set up so much with like the characters, and like the second one doesn't really.
the second
that's-
one
it
is
doesn't really have to.
Little Rock runs away.
Yeah,
We're on an adventure. That's
I
pretty much it.
totally forgot that they named themselves after like states and cities.
And that was funny when Luke Wilson and Verizon Guy also were
Yeah.
named.
Yeah,
Verizon Guy was Flagstaff.
Flagstaff.
Flagstaff. What is Luke Wilson?
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
That's great.
bonus points for anyone that knows where Flagstaff's at.
Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Woo!
Mitchell said it first, so he gets the bonus point.
Motherfucker. But yeah, I guess we'll just kick it off. I love the opening credits. I love the just over the top, slow zoom, ridiculous gore, and always hitting the credit names. So,
Dude, I really want to know how much money went to the visual effects department, specifically on the text.
yeah, the
Because there's
text.
so much work on it.
that was
and-
really cool. I like that part.
I don't know if you guys noticed. It was when Verizon and Jesse were like, comparing dick sizes with their rules. Whatever, like with the one was like, the
Are you talking
world
about the
is-
font was different for the
yeah,
commandments?
well,
and
the
rules?
one where the world is your bathroom, like
Yeah.
the M started pooping.
Yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed
No, I
that.
didn't
I was
see
like,
that.
oh my
I
gosh.
thought it was like peeing, but like
one or the
same
other.
thing.
Yeah, it was just
No, I
like,
didn't notice that.
Excrement.
yeah.
But like even like the small details, because like there's even that shot where it's zoomed out and you can see what was it, the Hog Hotel, Dog Hotel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then like you saw the words on the ground, like in their little path, like how they all just kept falling down. It's like,
Oh, it was great. And
Yeah, one of my main complaints though is there were sometimes like the one that I remember in particular was they were in the mall and they were on their little Paul Blart scooter things.
Right.
And I remember they shot that zombie who was staring at herself in the mirror, and they had some word or font that come up, and I couldn't read it for like the life of me.
I think
So
it's
there
a
were-
double tapped.
Okay, because there were
Go double
sometimes
tap, yeah.
there were
Yeah, 'cause he
sometimes it
shot
might
her
just be my
twice,
shoddy
yeah.
like
Yeah.
eyesight.
Well, it's almost like a blink and you miss it for some of
Yeah.
them, like
Right.
because you're like watching the screen and then you see it on the left and you're just like, oh shit, and there it is. Another one of mine was when Woody Harrelson made his first role and it was like fancy gold like cursive font. That was great.
rules are for pussies.
Yep.
that's not a personal thing. Oh wait, that's your one thing. That was a personal thing.
Yeah, it was all the rules are fun. We were looking them up because the one that they don't reference that they did in the first one was always check the back seat.
Yeah.
which was a big one in the first one, and they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
mention that at all in this one. Where there were a few moments where I was like, check the back seat. You never know what's back there. Because in the first one they do it to the Hummer, and there's all that ammunition, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh hell yeah, but.
And then Woody didn't check the back seat to see that she was in the back. Had a gun to him, and they stole the car for the second
there were
time.
so many of that. So maybe
Yeah.
it was just a running joke that they didn't want to bring
I
back.
keep forgetting her name. What's the little girl again?
Little Rock?
No, like I mean the actress's name.
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Abigail Breslin.
Ab-
Little Miss
yeah.
Sunshine. That's how I know her.
That's her? Little
Yeah.
Miss Sunshine? Wow, she's really known for like the 2 kid movies. And then she's an adult in this.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And Matt couldn't stop talking
Again,
about.
oh boy,
Yeah.
puberty smacked her across the face.
Yeah.
It's funny too because doesn't she have like an Oscar nomination like under her name too? And I can't for the life of me think of what the movie is.
Maybe Little Miss Sunshine?
I thought
It was a damn good movie.
I thought
Yeah,
it
it's a
was
good movie. It's a really
something
good
else,
movie. I couldn't tell you though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the one that comes to my head is Haley Steinfeld for True Grit got nominated for Best
I remember
Actress,
that, yeah.
and she was like not even 10 at the time. But for her, yeah, like when I first saw her, I was like, okay, like you're cute. But then like there was one like she was wearing a shirt, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, there's specifically a shot like when she's in the car where like her undershirt was too low and she just picked it up. And I was like, that had to be on purpose.
No, right. So
And
let's-
she just wants to meet a boy her age.
Fucking Berkeley.
Dude,
I wanted to punch that kid through the
that
screen.
was like
Yep.
the great. I think that's one of my favorite scenes is when Emma Stone is describing her lover to Woody Harrelson,
freaking
and
out.
then he's like, "He's a musician," and then he just freaks out and just starts breaking everything.
No, that was
Pacifist.
after the pacifist part.
It was just like, I
And he
got
just
nothing
flipped
against
out.
pacifists.
I just want to punch him in the face.
Oh, that was a great scene right there. I guess we'll talk about everything in the White House, which is a lot of what we saw in the trailer, which was nice. It was really the trailer and the Luke Wilson stuff that really was only in the trailers. We never saw anything of like the sanctuary area. Babylon, yeah.
Yeah, and
Babylon.
then there was,
Babylon.
I think there was,
Babylon.
I think there was like
Babylon.
one small part about them playing a game in the White House that wasn't in the movie. I think it was like Twister or something.
Yeah, there's always like deleted scenes, footage. I'm just trying to think. I like the little like when they were doing the actual like Christmas, and she's like, "It's fucking November."
Oh, yeah.
So specific.
But I definitely like. I thought it was very sweet that like he had like this like father-daughter relationship, and he just wanted to raise her because like his kid was
Right.
dead in the first one.
She wanted nothing to do
that
with
we
it.
think of because in the first one, like Jesse Eisenberg said, like as they're leaving, like, oh, the photos of the kids in your wallet were from someone else's wallet as well. So I don't know if that's his kid or not.
Right? Like at first it was like the puppy, and then it was like, oh no, it was the kid.
puppy.
That puppy was adorable.
What was his name? Buck.
I have no idea, even though I just watched it last night.
You should be the one to know.
Oh, dang
Only
it.
if Matt was here. Caleb is gonna be driven mad now trying to figure out.
Yeah,
the dog's
that's
name.
going to bother me.
I think it's Buck.
It's someone with a B.
I thought.
I'm just gonna look it up. Just
There
to
you go.
solve this. For you.
Please.
We mentioned it in the initial reaction, but the little Walking Dead joke when he was reading the book was pretty funny. I never.
So good.
I guess obviously we established it that Woody Harrelson is like obsessed with Elvis.
Yeah. Was that in the first
Yeah.
one?
I don't think it was at all.
think so.
No.
No,
He was obsessed with Bill Murray in the first one.
Right. Like I just don't get it. Is it just because we're not boomers and like haven't experienced Elvis nearly as much? Like I don't understand why people freak out over Elvis.
Man, the
I mean, it's just like freaking out over any musician,
it's
I
like
guess.
a very popular musician in our day and age compared to like what theirs was back then. Because obviously Elvis was huge back then.
Like for us, like people are always gonna like remember like the golden age of like freaking Justin Bieber, like when all the girls in their prime or like.
But like, is Justin Bieber gonna have his own like dedicated land
No,
and museums like
I don't
Elvis?
think any musician's ever gonna get to that level
Right.
of like the Beatles or like the Rolling Stones or Elvis, but I guess it's just because Elvis like shaped the way for like rock and roll and broke some boundaries. That's really why it's like a lot of musicians broke rules for future musicians, and then now those musicians, I guess there's not that many rules to break.
Wasn't he a pedophile?
Elvis,
Yeah. Wasn't his wife like 15 or some shit?
probably.
I heard it
would
was
be
like
smart.
a,
He was the
like
king.
a
He could do whatever he
forced
wanted.
marriage sort of thing That's what I heard it was.
Guys, he died on the toilet. Okay, that's all we know.
Well,
I remember when I went to Graceland, like our tour guide, she was like, "No, you
Why'd you
can't
go to
see the toilet."
Graceland?
My mom and I were driving down to Atlanta, and we stopped there.
Buck.
Buck.
It was Buck.
Confirmed. The dog's name was Buck.
But the dog wasn't a dog; it was his kid, according to
that
this.
we think of.
Anything else in the White House? Funny jokes that stood out to you?
In the White House, not really.
There
for
were a
me.
few things, like things that weren't said. So like there was the one scene where what's her face comes back.
Emma Stone.
What's that?
Emma Stone.
Yeah, when she comes back, and her and
Fuck, what was
Columbus are having a talk.
Oh,
and
I
you
know what
see
you're-
in the back the picture of Taft.
Yeah.
cut out.
Oh, yeah,
That was,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
pretty
That's
funny.
Use it
awesome.
for wrapping paper.
I really like how they, like, how much of a love interest did they have in the first movie? Did they really show that off as much?
It's kind of
like maybe at the
towards the
end.
end, just kind of like a.
More so of like,
Yeah.
I
Just,
don't
like,
wanna be
hinting towards
attached
it.
Sort of thing,
Mhm.
'cause-
I do like how they just like jumped into it and didn't like
Mm-hmm.
say, "Oh, we've been dating for 5 years." No, it's just like they're laying in bed. It's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay."
I think that rule, like, as when they did leave the note and ended up leaving, when she kept saying like that was like our main rule from before, like don't
Mhm.
get attached, like that
So,
was
like,
one
those
of the
little
big
details.
rules in the first movie too.
hmm
So yeah, it was a good.
So I thought that was really cool.
good
Um,
good
how-
little break.
Were you guys getting anxiety like when Emma Stone and Jesse were talking? You're just like, when's Madison showing up? When
Yeah.
is she showing up?
I
Like,
know.
because
I was
the
like-
camera just kept
Yeah.
going back and
And I'm
forth, and I'm like, oh my god, just
I'm
come
like,
down the stairs already.
You know, honestly, with how ditzy she was, I was waiting for her to just like fall down the stairs.
what was the
Like
shirt she was wearing? What did it
that.
say?
Like, Law and Mortar.
Yeah,
Law and
Order.
I guess we can talk about the mall scene with.
Yeah, why so many Lord of the Rings references in this movie?
Yeah, I was trying to think back to the first one if there was, and there really wasn't.
I don't think no.
Is it just the beat over the head that Jesse's a nerd?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
Think so.
Probably.
That was pretty good. Where he was just like, "Oh, the like first edition," and you wrote
Yeah.
on the
You wrote
paper.
it
Yeah,
Mhm.
one of the last copies of this book. And
Yeah, that makes
Right
sense
in
because
it,
that
yeah.
was the Lord of the Rings. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, I do like the little, like, I don't remember when he said it, but when he mentioned, like, electricity still works, he's like, yeah, if it rains, the dams still work. And so it's just like, all right, that's how this logistic thing that works that people would probably question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice just little line to like
Yeah.
because I was
Pretty
just like,
meta
how
moment.
is lights still working?
Right.
But one thing I want to reference, or I guess point out, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but when they're on like the mall like Segway things, there was a poster which I thought looked like Garfield 3, but like I thought it was just because in the post credit scene, Garfield 3 is like the inside
Right.
joke.
I didn't see
And
that.
so, like, yeah, like they're just walking, and it's just kind of like in the middle of the hallway, and it's kind of like torn up. But I'm just like, that looks like it looked like Garfield, and so I just assumed like Garfield 3, and I thought it was just like an Easter egg to like Bill Murray, but then it turned out to be an actual
The
thing,
end.
which I thought was pretty funny.
It's like,
Yeah, I
is
kept-
Garfield Bill Murray's Green Lantern?
Oh, definitely.
Probably, yeah.
Why'd he make two of them?
Because
Cocaine, that's what he explained.
That was a running joke in the
Oh,
first one.
drugs
After he got
cost
shot, like I forget who.
Oh, yeah,
it was.
he said
Emma
his
Stone,
one
"Do you
regret
have
was
any
Garfield."
regrets?"
Yeah.
It's like Garfield, maybe.
Well, it's such a stab in the face where he was just like, this was his trilogy he made and not another Ghostbusters. Like,
Right,
that's
yeah.
that's the one everybody wants him to make,
Mhm.
but he's like, nah, Garfield 3. Because that's the movie everybody wants.
Yeah.
Dude, the moment when Jesse is smelling candles, I was like, fuck, that'd be me on an apocalypse.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just get all the candles. Just
Pretty
be
sure I
like,
pointed at
Yeah,
you.
but
It
you
seemed
were
to
just
be
like- I didn't
yeah,
see
this would be Andrew.
that was great. And that's where we're introduced to Madison.
I
What
mean,
do
it
you
also
guys
makes
think of
sense.
her?
Like, of course it smells bad in Zombieland.
Oh, awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did everybody think of Madison?
I honestly think she was probably one of the top two in the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could definitely see how, like, she could be super annoying to people and just, like, cringy because people
Oh, you didn't
hate-
like
I
her?
fucking hated her.
Valley
I
Girls.
knew she was important to like what happened and stuff, but I just every time she talked, I just wanted to rip my ears out.
I think she got very pointless when they got to the sanctuary area.
Yeah.
Like, her character just got annoying.
Oh, yeah.
But everything leading up to that was great. And her introduction, like, I don't remember her in the marketing. Was she even in the marketing?
Yeah.
She was? I don't remember her.
Yeah,
It was the seatbelt part.
The
Was-
seatbelt? Okay, I kind of remember that now.
And she's like, oh, she knows the rules?
Yeah. Okay, I kind of remember her slamming her head.
Dude, I loved Emma
Well,
Stone.
she didn't
as
just
dude.
slam her head. She got obliterated.
She launched out of the back seat and stopped herself with her face.
Yeah, their banter. She was really good. Like she kept, everybody on their toes, pretty much, like with their banter between each other. I thought that every time she was on screen, like she was going up against Woody Harrelson, I'm like, okay, this is like good bantering between you two. Like it looks like you guys hate each other.
And it's like stupid humor.
Oh,
yeah, it's annoying, but it's like one of those things where it'll still get you to chuckle a little bit.
Like,
Well, that's usually like the ones that stand out too. Is just like small dialogue quips. Like big jokes stop being funny, but like small little quips kind of stand the test of time
definitely.
because it's real. Like you could totally see that kind of argument between two people.
Like it didn't feel forced.
Right.
Like the jokes didn't feel forced at all. Like they're too quick. Almost like the whole like.
There's only one
eye
forced
type
moment at the end.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
But yeah, we're introduced to her. Jesse needed a rebound, got laid. I don't blame him. Like,
Yeah.
I love that line. It's either you
Or the old
or
guy.
or the old guy.
and all of us in that situation. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
That's
Yeah.
fair.
that was great. And then we're reintroduced to Emma Stone, which then kicks off the journey that they have to go find Little Rock.
Did any of us side with Emma Stone on the argument?
For
No.
which
No.
one?
Like, was it okay for him to just like rebound?
No, I
Well, I
don't
mean,
agree
with
her.
how she left him and everything.
Yeah.
It felt like it was at least, what, like a month, right? Is
Yeah,
that
he
what
said
it
it
was
was
more
in
than
a
a
month,
month.
and he
It's
was like,
been
"I'm
a
gonna give
month.
you one more day."
And that's like the third time that she's ditched him, so fuck you. Like,
exactly.
I thought that was a little like, I was like, come on, you're kind of a
I mean,
bitch.
obviously-
But you're Emma Stone, so I love you.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, he didn't do it in a sense of fuck you, but
Right. But it was nice that like she dwelled on it for like one act and then got over it.
Yeah,
because like
it
she
was-
realized.
and then she even had fun bantering with Madison.
Yeah.
Like, everybody.
I think she was able to like hit him enough, just like how much he didn't like her.
Yeah, I
And,
think
yeah.
the movie just knew that like that wasn't the focus of it,
Right.
and now we just have another person in the party because the little sister's missing. I really thought the RV. I thought there was going to be like a cameo of just somebody in that RV, like when they try to go in it, but instead we just get a fun action scene.
Who,
Yeah.
is Tim Allen in an RV movie?
No, Ron Williams.
Yep, can't do that.
No.
Or Jason Sudeikis for Where the Millers, maybe.
No, Ed Helms was. In
Oh,
that
Ed Helms, not Sudeikis.
RV, whatever.
I'm trying to remember where that like super zombie came from, because he kind of just climbed up the back of the RV. So I'm starting to think of like
That wasn't the
check
super zombie.
No,
Though.
that was just
the
like
Hawking?
that was the Hawking,
Oh,
like the
okay.
smarter ones.
Yeah.
I figured it was one of those where it was like the whole check the back seat thing. Like he kind of came out from the back and just climbed up.
No, that wasn't him because he dove off.
One thing that they didn't really
Super dive.
establish, I guess, because they got rid of their guns when they needed to, was that like the T-800 can like dodge bullets. I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool. They only showed it in that one like moment, and then they never.
Thankfully,
really
only
ran
at
out.
long range
Yeah,
or like medium range.
I
but then
like
it
how
still
he-
took like 2 clips to kill
Yeah.
it.
Like when he turned, he's like, "Dodge my bullets, motherfucker." And he cocked it again.
It's like the little lines like
Yeah.
that are like
Uh-huh.
great. It's just
He's
like that's a good
one
character.
But
plus
they're
one
not-
is still 2, right?
They're not boot proof though, thank God.
Yeah, right.
And then that was a funny moment. They get the RV. They're all like, "Hell yeah!" And then flat tire,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah,
didn't see
where-
coming.
No.
Where the hell were they that there's a place that has spikes
I don't
at
know.
the exit? Because there was a sign saying
I thought it was just like
Yeah.
the
punctured
like
tires.
a broken down fence. Like,
I thought it was
Right.
more
Oh.
like a guard thing. Like
Yeah.
for
Right,
people
yeah.
to
Looks like a
trespass.
police
Yeah.
impound, kind of.
But it could have been like those, like it's an entrance but not an exit, like so you can go
Mm-hmm.
over the spikes and they go underground. But if you try to go
Kinda like
the other way, you just pop your tires.
It almost looked like a setup too. I mean,
That's
Yeah,
what I
I
thought
almost
at
thought it was
first
gonna
when
be
it
like
happened.
some like humans, but
with how it was like set up outside, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, open the door, alarms go off. You know, someone gets killed, people come out, take all. Of
Yeah,
the
that's what I
shit,
thought when the
gotta
alarms
leave.
went off.
one thing that's refreshing is that like in the first one, yes, Emma Stone and her sister are assholes, but like one thing in The Walking Dead is that like everybody's your enemy. In this, no humans are trying like there might be like talking shit like Luke
Yeah.
Wilson and Woody Harrelson, but like there's no governor or no like Negan like character
Their
who's-
factions.
Yeah, because like this movie knows like that's not what you want to see. You don't want to
Oh,
see
yeah.
humans fighting. You want to see humans
Not in a
fighting
comedy.
zombies. No, especially not. Which is refreshing, and which I think this movie is. I think this movie does bring a happy light the zombies again.
Because we don't want to see people fighting for resources and shit like that.
Fuck that.
You wanna watch
Like we
that,
never
watch
had a
Walking
scene
Dead.
where they had to look for fuel because that's just another like.
Yeah, I just love how every car they can start it and there's full gas.
That
Like,
minivan had so much gas in it.
Yeah.
that was a great joke. The last time they get to, he's just like, I can't. He's like, I just can't do it.
He punches the side mirror.
Shoot. Oh, I loved in
3
the first
times.
one. I wish there was like a little callback to Woody Harrelson's obsession with Twinkies in the first
Oh,
one.
That's
Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna mention.
Yeah, you're gonna mention that. It was
Yeah.
kind of sad because I remember at the end of the first one, like where Jesse just shoots the box of Twinkies, and so like,
He
Yeah.
gets so upset. He
Like,
just
He
reaches in.
starts crying. He's like,
He's
the
like, there
last
are no
Twinkie."
words
has
to
Twinkies.
explain this.
Was there
moment.
no Twinkie reference?
I don't
No,
think
no,
there
there was
was.
not a
I thought
single
it was
one.
like the one thing on the bridge. I thought he said something about the Twinkie. When
He
they
could
were
have.
looking
He
through the
might have.
binoculars, like towards like the clown car. or
Mhm.
No,
No,
because
see,
he said no clowns. Like,
yeah.
that's all he said. He didn't
I
Oh,
say
no,
thought it
I
was
heard
a
that.
Twinkie.
I
I thought that was a Twinkie reference too.
that's what
when
I thought. I was like,
watching.
I thought he slipped one in there just. Real
You know what?
quick.
Let's
Yeah.
give it benefit of the doubt. Really?
It's empty.
I should have had you get me.
Little man, big man.
Go grab
Now
one.
you're big. Now you're small. Now you're big. Now you're small.
Grab me one too.
Like I can feel like that could be so. Like on paper, that dialogue looks so annoying.
What
Like
dialogue?
when she's like had the binoculars, she's like big or big, small, big, small.
Oh yeah, that was. It
That
worked.
was so funny.
And even like when she stopped for a second and then she went back, it still worked. I thought like seriously, the only time when she failed as a character was like the last like 10 minutes of the movie. where I
yeah, when
thought
they
she-
just wrote her off.
Yeah, they just wrote
Mhm.
her off and like she was just screaming and I'm like, oh my god, okay. They just kind of pushed you aside. You're not part of it
Mhm.
anymore.
And now she's just Berkeley's.
But yeah, that was a little rough. We'll get into the ending, which was a little.
Honestly, since we
Nah.
mentioned Berkeley, like that was probably gonna be my one complaint. I did not care for his character that much.
Yeah, he wasn't funny.
And I like him as an actor too.
Right, yeah,
I
yeah.
love him.
Who is it?
Ava Jogia.
What's he been in?
Well, you guys are gonna look at me like I'm weird, but remember the
Grown-ups.
show Victorious?
Oh, he was in that.
Yeah, he played Beck.
Fuck, who's Beck?
I don't know.
I don't
Jada
know what's
Jade.
going on.
What did you think about him?
He did look kind
He
of
served a
then.
purpose.
Yeah, 'cause
but
I
he
watched
wasn't really an
Victorious for a little
interesting
bit.
character.
Yeah, he
Dang, was he one
had
of
a
the
lot
main
of
cast
jokes,
members?
Yeah.
but he never delivered the jokes.
Like
Yeah.
the
It was
long
funny when
black
he did
hair,
start
stuff
singing.
like that.
Yeah.
What song did he start singing?
Because I remember the black dude
Freebird,
and the awkward.
Freebird, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
White
yeah,
kid.
and he served because there wasn't a whole lot of music in this movie. If you guys didn't recognize,
yeah,
that.
there was.
So,
it was only
like, he-
Freebird was like the only
He
song.
served like a musical niche, and I
Mhm.
like that about him as not necessarily as a character, but I guess as like
Huh.
It's kind of like a filler.
yeah, well,
Wow,
not
that's
but
crazy.
he was
He's-
like a movie
Right
reason
there.
to put in a music line,
Wow.
basically, and I like that about that. You know,
I mean, he just looked like the biggest douche.
Wow,
ever.
what a
Yeah,
legend
for sure.
to go back to this, Victorious is for producing Ariana Grande in Berkeley from Zombieland 2. That's funny.
But
I did like how they wrote
Did you
his
see?
character to be disliked. Like just when he said like, I'm not some stinky cover musician.
yeah,
I'm just a shittier person that claims I made this music.
and then it's justified at the end.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of.
It was nice. Anytime you could fit in actual Freebird into a movie,
oh for sure.
Yeah.
it's an instant great upgrade for me.
Did you guys think the Madison getting the peanut allergy was a little like duh? Like we kind of figured.
I saw
We
it
both
coming.
looked at each other like, we bet it's a nut allergy.
But like that was the thing, like, and they made the joke about it. Like she was holding a nut. It's not like she's eating like a bar and it's like maybe there's peanuts in it.
Yeah,
It's like
she
she's
got, like,
She was
obviously
literally
eating
just
peanuts.
eating peanuts.
Like,
Yeah.
she's just that dumb.
Even like the whole in the woods where you could see her face, you could tell that it
well,
was
her
like,
eyes were poofing.
right.
Like
you could tell
yeah.
it was like blown up.
Yeah,
up
and like,
something.
and then when you hear the shots, like Josh and I were like, he did not kill her
Yeah, no.
because she's
Yeah.
coming back. Because like, yeah, I guess they were like thinking that like, oh, maybe she did get bit in the foot, like at the RV scene.
Mhm.
But like, I don't know if they really wanted us to believe that she got bitten. I guess they could have come up with something like better than a peanut allergy that was clearly her eating it. Like literally, she had one peanut.
It was
and
a bag
ate
of fucking peanuts.
Yeah,
and
pretty
she's like,
much.
Or well, it was like a bag of trail mix.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Like
yeah,
who
yeah.
doesn't know that there's nuts in trail mix?
Yeah, and that like, and that like it was a. it would have been a funny joke, but it just was kind of like duh, because like
Yeah.
trail mix is like almost 80% nuts, and then like you get the raisins and M&Ms.
But then
Like-
you go back to the whole joke of like, well, no wonder why she's still alive. Like zombies eat brains. And
Yeah.
she clearly doesn't have any.
And, like even like the attention to detail with how Luke and Verizon guy went out. It was like they turned within like seconds. It was like, but wait, Madison, like they had to walk all the way back to the van, and she didn't turn. Like it was a whole like 30 minutes before she did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it just was kind of clunky. They just needed to get rid of her for then not really a crazy reveal when she was alive again. They just saw the ice cream truck, and then she just appeared.
I was actually more.
Yeah, did we
surprised
think it
that
was going to be her driving it when we saw the van?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
don't know
who
who
else
else.
would have known about it?
I thought it was gonna be like a zombie for some reason, like a Hawking.
I thought it was gonna be like a new character, so I wasn't surprised that she was alive. I was surprised that like, oh, she got a truck to work.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Like, oh,
okay.
she knows how to drive.
Like, okay. I mean, she's swerving a little bit, but she's still on the road.
Look ahead. Stop looking at us. Look ahead.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I mentioned in the reaction that like I just was kind of at a loss was I think it was just too dark, but like when they get to Graceland and they go to Elvis's house, like I just could not see.
No.
Oh yeah, you
I was
couldn't
there
see
with
It
it.
looked like another White House.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought like they drove back to DC. Like I thought that was the joke,
Like,
but
oh, they didn't
I
do
just
it.
kind of like I look at Josh. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like it was, but then like they said it like burned down or something.
Yeah.
Like, they used the word burn, so I'm like, oh, I assume it just went up in flames. But I just felt like that was kind of clunky. It was too dark, and it did literally look like the White House.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was like, can you guys see what's happening? But then honestly,
Yeah.
I think Woody Harrelson ended up saving the scene. So
Yeah, like he just started
I
saying
thought-
gibberish.
I thought he was being sarcastic at the beginning when he woke him up because he was just so giddy and everything. I was like, okay, he's being a like asshole right now, and then he was being serious.
Yeah,
Like,
it was,
oh,
just, it was just kind of a clunky scene, but like it was literally like less than a minute. So
Yeah.
like it wasn't a big deal. It just felt like it was probably like the worst like payoff of the movie. Like it just didn't really lead up to anything.
Yeah.
But then it does lead up to what was the hotel room thing called?
The Hound Dog or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
something
something
like
like
Dog.
that.
With the great joke of Elvis's shoes and
Yeah.
them fitting Jesse. He's like,
Like
I feel like
Cinderella.
Cinderella. That was
oh,
great.
they're not his actual shoes. Elvis's actual shoes.
And then our obsession with Woody Harrelson and Elvis. I wonder if that's like an actual thing, like because he kind of does sound like him. Like he's
Yeah.
good at singing.
And like Matt pointed out, he was singing. Pretty sure that was him singing in the credits.
I'm
It
pretty
was,
sure,
it
yeah,
was, yeah.
It sounded like him singing the credits. Oh my gosh, I feel bad. What's her name?
Rosario
Reno or
Dawson.
Nevada.
Oh, well, I was
Why am I
thinking, yeah,
not
Oh,
surprised that Mitchell knows her name like
Dude,
instantly?
Oh my god.
I mean, I know her from the Marvel Netflix shows.
Right.
What else is she in? That's like big.
I don't think she's been in anything like really big.
Was she in 7 pounds?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't
Is
see
that
that.
that Will Smith movie?
Yeah.
I don't think she was in
haven't seen
anything
that
like
in so long.
big. I know she did some voice animations.
Someone just look it up. We,
I think-
we gotta know.
So this is what always happens.
Dude.
But
Yeah,
she was a
until-
surprise when
Until
she
we get
showed
a
up.
producer.
Yeah, I looked at Kyle and I just, and he's like, "How did I know you were gonna think she
The-
was?" a
And then I
truck?"
turned.
Yeah, she's in 7 pounds.
Okay.
So that would probably. And Woody Harrelson. Would you like
Is he
that?
really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
wow.
like third credited. All right.
Yeah. Oh, duh. He's the blind. Has anybody seen 7 pounds?
It's been so many years.
I haven't.
Woody Harrelson was in the beginning where he's like a blind like customer service guy, and Will Smith's just like tearing into him, and then he finds out. No, he like hears he's blind. He's making the joke about it, and then he just feels bad about himself.
I feel stupid because I always I always flip them and I get it confused with Pursuit of Happiness and doesn't.
I mean,
Which is
the-
also
the Will
one of the
Smith's
very
two
good
biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like-
that's the thing.
That was the first movie that made me cry. And I'll
You
admit it
have
right now.
feelings?
Yes.
That
Right?
movie
Holy
got me.
shit, guys.
incredible.
Kyle has feelings.
Holy shit! Someone document this day.
It's in the podcast forever.
I mean, I wasn't like,
October 18th.
girly cry, like, but I teared up.
No.
That's the best you'll get.
No, just
That's
full
the best.
That's the
blown,
most you'll get.
I can't get that out of acting for him.
full
So.
blown ugly cry.
Snot.
bawling and tissues.
He's
And,
in the corner of the theater. He's like,
You're saying you didn't cry at Marley and Me?
I haven't
What
even-
the fuck?
No, I didn't either.
I was more pissed
I haven't
off because the
seen that
dog
movie.
died, but I was like, I'm not gonna cry because I know it's a movie, even though Pursuit of Happiness is a movie, but it was like,
Yeah, what's
But it's a true story.
is it?
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a true
it's based
story.
on a true
Based
story.
on a true
The
story.
guy's
So
Either way.
loosely, but
Will Smith's like a motivational speaker now. his character, or the character he portrays, something like that.
Yeah.
I think the only movie that I cried to where the dog died was Old Yeller. It was probably the only one.
See, I just don't think I can cry at that because like it's just so like so much of a joke now.
Oh yeah, now back
Yeah.
then I had no fucking clue.
What's the movie with David Spade where he's like a redneck?
Oh, Joe Dirt.
Yeah, Joe
Yeah,
Dirt.
Joe
Doesn't a
Dirt.
dog
Where
die
the
in that
dog
too?
died.
Yeah.
Oh man, because
Wasn't that
after
a parody of Old Yeller?
I think
That's
in a
just
way,
funny though.
because
You
like
can't
the
cry.
guy got
Because it's a
the guy
comedy.
got his foot trapped in like the
Yeah,
railroad tracks.
yeah.
Oh no, for me, has anybody seen The Neverending Story?
Mm-mm.
No.
Ah,
Wasn't
Stranger
that the
Things,
movie?
dude.
Oh yeah.
The ending story.
In The
I haven't watched
Neverending
that
Story,
either.
it's like an '80s film, and the main kid and the horse get trapped in like this quicksand, and he's like walking the horse, and the horse gets stuck, and he's like, "Come on!" And then literally the horse just sinks, and he's like bawling his eyes out, and like 5-year-old me is just like, "Mom, why are you showing me this movie?" Like, I was so devastated. It was. I wonder how they filmed that scene.
Did you
but
beat Shadow of Colossus?
I have not.
I still have that game. I still have to play it.
I feel like that is a powerful game, though. Yeah, I could see that being a powerful game.
Mm-hmm.
I love tangents. What were we talking about?
I don't even know.
We got
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we brought up 7 Pound.
So attractive.
Dude,
Oh my
every
gosh.
female in this movie is attractive out of the 4.
Yeah, everybody was good looking. Yeah, you don't like Madison.
No, I mean she's hot,
Oh,
but
Just
Little
too
Miss
ditzy.
Sunshine, I think she's just no.
probably the.
Oh, because you think of the kid every time.
I do. I think
Hers,
of Little Miss
yeah.
Sunshine and her dancing.
She's okay.
I can see it. That you're just like it's just like I like this is just wrong. Like
Yeah.
I know you as a kid, not as an adult.
And
But
I'm
like
not
a
too
good.
fond on Emma Stone either.
Shut
I
the
just-
fuck
You
up.
could tell
She is
how much
beautiful.
she's aged.
Oh yeah, you
But
can
she
tell
looks
her face.
good though. She's gonna be a fucking hot.
I'm pretty
MILF,
sure
dude.
her ass got bigger, guys. I'm
Oh
not
my
gonna
God.
lie. I stared. 'Cause She
I
was
s-
wearing tight jeans. I'm like, I didn't see that in La La Land.
God damn it.
She's just always wearing dresses.
Right.
I
There's
just
it's
I
right
love
here.
how she
Yeah.
didn't turn into an enemy either. Like she didn't turn into a villain. She was so chill. Like
Mhm.
like she confronts him, and then the next scene they're drinking whiskey or whatever, and he
I
tells
didn't
a
need
funny
the
story.
on the nose park in my driveway bit.
Oh, that was kind of funny.
I was there with it.
I always
liked it.
have room in my driveway for you. It's like,
Honestly, my mind didn't
Sounds
even
kinda
get sexual
skanky.
with that because I
Yeah,
was like,
mine
this is-
didn't either until
with
they
the
said I
whole
don't think they're
stupid
Right,
talking
yeah,
about
thing that was
driveways.
going on. I was like, yeah, I mean, Woody Harrelson would probably joke about some stupid
Yeah.
shit like this.
But then that's what made it even funnier when like the joke is established, but then some people don't get it. So
And
then
then someone
they,
clarifies.
yeah,
it.
because
You're
and then
like,
you're just like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Because
Yeah.
then they continue going with it. So it gives like the audience a second
Mm-hmm.
chance to laugh at it.
As soon as she said like, "Take it easy, boys," I'm like, oh shit, they did go sexual. Okay.
But yeah, I guess like we can talk about them now. I really wish they were in it more than like the 10 minutes they got.
right.
But they were. I love Luke Wilson. He's a great actor. I
Like,
wish he
and
was
we
in
knew
more
it right
stuff.
away when they chose not to have help when they went by themselves.
Oh yeah.
Well, and they're also duplicates of the same character,
Yeah.
so
You
they can't keep
you
up.
can't keep them.
And we didn't want it to turn to that movie where it's like, oh, now it's this team versus this team.
Yeah.
butting heads.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna work, but it worked for the 10 minutes
Yeah.
for
Right.
that segment, and that was great. And then
Wow.
it's cool that like I guess every person that dies now turns into a T800.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess that if they make a third one, if this is successful, which I think they should just make one every 10 years.
That means the homers are going to die off because they can't reproduce.
I was
Andrew,
gonna
if
say-
that's the case, we're gonna be like 34 years old going to watch a zombie movie.
I'm
That's
just breaking
sounds
up
good to me.
when they were like, "Oh, last one is the Homer. He's just chasing the butterfly." around."
Can we talk about that one shot sequence when they finally turn into the T800s?
What shot?
Like that was all a one shot.
Oh, when
they're
them
chasing-
turning and then
yeah.
the fight
Oh,
scene.
yeah.
That was insane.
That was pretty
Like,
cool.
I wonder how many times they had to do that because that's like
Honestly, and like there,
I did notice like one or two where there could have been edits.
Right.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
where one of them gets pushed through one of like the walls and then the camera like shoots down but then picks right back up.
Oh,
so
right.
like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a quick
yeah.
edit. But like it seamlessly looks like one shot.
Like
Like,
that's
it's
the only
fun.
downside to a one shot, and you're like you notice it, and you're like fuck. Like now I'm
Yep.
looking out for these like edit spots.
Because like
It's
a
just so
good
insane.
example like in Birdman, theoretically, the movie
Bringing that movie up.
the movie's
I
like
hate that
13
movie.
shots and it's like an over 2 hour movie. And like the easiest way to make it look like a flow is when a character would enter in a new room. It'd be kind of dark for a second
Right.
and pick back up.
Or walking down the stairs.
Walking-
they'd,
yeah.
At one point.
Kingsman, also the infamous
I
scene
love those movies.
in the church. There are a few moments where like,
Still hate you for that.
why?
Anyways, continue.
What did you do?
I don't remember. What did I do?
You met the actor.
Oh, that's
Oh.
right. Yeah, that's where Kyle was just like, I kind of want to go to one of
Yeah.
these now.
I thought there was like a feud for like.
Yeah, I was
No,
like,
no,
no,
no, no,
Kingsman's
no.
amazing. What are you saying?
Yeah, Eggsy, man. I was pissed.
He was fucking awesome. But yeah,
He looked really
than I
short though.
he did.
Him and Tom Holland. Because
Well,
I'm
Tom
taller
Holland-
than you, and they were shorter than you. So I was like, huh.
I know Tom Holland.
By like an inch.
I think he's like 5'7", if I'm not mistaken.
That just gives us hope that like we can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can be short and famous.
I just needed to know how tall Jake Gyllenhaal was because I was just like, how tall are you?
So he's a little bit taller than you.
He
isn't
was like maybe like 2 inches taller. But anyways, no.
Go on. Sorry.
So I just love one shots, and this was a
There were a
fun
few
one.
of them.
There
Like,
were?
at the White House when they kept going back between Emma Stone and Jesse.
Oh yeah, I guess that's not like a crazy one, but that's
Right.
a good one to bring up. But like
It's
when it
still
comes to like a set piece,
anytime there's dialogue that goes over like 30 seconds, that's like double, triple the amount of effort.
yeah, because you're just like sometimes Hollywood like actors are so lazy that they have to cut after saying 5 words, but it shows that like they are actually good actors.
Right.
Because like one thing I always find funny is like when I'm watching a movie and I see a lot of edits, I'm just like, would this actor survive on Broadway? Could they actually do a whole one take? 'Cause that's what Broadway is. It's just the entire thing. And sure, there are scenes broken up, but like it's like 10 to 15 minute scenes.
Right.
I know there's like a few actors out there that usually switch between acting and Broadway.
Yeah, like Tom Holland. No, sorry, not
Hugh.
Tom
You
Hiddleston
got
is
Hugh Jackman,
on Broadway right now.
Lawrence Fishburne,
Who's the guy that plays Harry Potter?
Oh,
Daniel Radcliffe.
yeah.
Yeah, he does that.
He does it too.
Yeah.
Same with,
Oddly enough, it's usually the British actors that do a lot of Broadway.
Because they're
Yeah.
probably they go into Broadway, like they go into
That's where they
plays.
come
Theater.
from.
Yeah.
The theater. That's
Yeah,
the
I
way
know
to say it.
Denzel Washington's big on theater as well. So.
Oh, yeah, wasn't that like the biggest thing with Fences?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like pretty much a Broadway.
And I thought that movie was so boring.
Me. But yeah, it was a really cool shot. It was fun, and it was sad though. But also, it was kind of stupid when like Wilson is just flailing around, and you just clearly see the bite mark.
Oh, yeah.
And at first, I thought they were
I
gonna.
no one
not paying
notices.
attention.
Well, I thought they were gonna introduce that he's like has a cure or something,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of like in The Last of Us, like that, like he can. But then like I'm like, they're not gonna go that serious, like
Yeah.
I was gonna say I was
Especially
starting to
that
get
soon
like,
in the movie. Like,
yeah.
I was starting to get like World War Z vibes, and I'm like, I don't
Gosh,
think
when's
it'll be
that sequel gonna happen?
Dude, I'm
Probably never.
Waiting. I'm
Never.
waiting for that.
I haven't seen that one either.
When they started slamming into like
Don't.
the whole walls and everything, I'm like, oh, they're retarded.
Oh.
Don't use the R word.
Yeah.
They were stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
I did like the nod towards the first movie though, when the like slide, don't swing, now swing thing.
Oh yeah, and
And then he-
bash right in the
Yep.
head.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was
I was
like, ooh,
laughing
like
my
I felt
ass
that. I was like, that. You should almost be knocked out like that.
Like,
Like
yeah,
even
that-
though
And then he
full
gets
swing.
hit with the guitar again, like as he's sitting on the ground.
That brings me up. What did you guys think of the zombie kills of the year?
That was
Oh,
hilarious.
those
I
The
were-
loved
Italian
that.
one, God, I love that. I'm just
So
over. He's
good.
like walking back. I'm like, okay, it's just gonna be a stupid cut of him just walking away, and then I see
Just
the
a
little
car jack.
the
tips
car
over
jack.
the
I'm
Tower
like,
of
it looked
Pisa.
like
Wait a minute.
TNT. I thought they were just gonna.
That's what I
explode.
thought, too.
Yeah, but then
But
it was
there's-
even better. Like
Yeah.
and
No, those were
Like
probably
the
my
obvious
funniest parts
Leaning
of the
Tower
movie.
joke.
I'm
Have we
glad
ever
that-
gotten that before?
I'm glad they did like a lot of
Pushing the tower over.
Yeah.
yeah, it was so stupid. You're just like, duh, this is great. Like one
Like that's
man
how
doing
all
that.
what 3 of them? There are 3 zombie kill of the year week moments.
Because it was the one on the
I
farm.
thought there was.
I think there's just
4.
2, wasn't there?
No, it was 2 because he.
So one was the week, and then the other one was the
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
'cause
the
I
week was
remember-
the hay one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
okay. I
Woody
don't know why
Harrelson
this
says
other one.
that's the zombie kill of the week
Yeah.
for the first
Right.
kill,
Mhm.
and he's like, no, this is
Mhm,
it.
mhm.
And then later on we get
Yeah.
the leaning
So
tower.
was there only 2 in the first one then?
There's only one in the first
Yeah, there's
one,
only one.
which is the
Right.
piano.
Oh
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been opposed to getting more of those to extend the time of the movie and then
Mhm.
just add more of those in.
Right.
Because those
Yeah.
were probably the best part of the movie for me.
Did you guys know that there was a pilot show for Amazon Prime
Of
of
Zombieland?
Zombieland?
Huh.
I think I saw
Um,
that.
We can watch Mr. Sunday Movies. He does a video on it, and it was pretty interesting. They were the only thing. It was pretty much the movie, but knockoff characters. Like you
Oh.
had you had the Woody Harrelson character, you had the Jesse
Yeah,
Eisenberg,
yeah.
and so like it just I guess it
So
just
nothing of what made the first one good.
Well, but like the jokes were there. Like there was a funny joke where like the Jesse kid is living is visiting his grandparents and they turn into zombies, and then the like grandma goes to bite him, but then it's just her dentures, so like he really didn't get bite like bit. Like that was funny. And they were always gonna have a zombie of the kill week for every episode, and so like they were gonna carry that joke on. And it was just interesting, like that they tried to make a show because the movie was so successful.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they held off making the movie, because they saw that the show failed. So maybe they're like, oh, maybe they don't want a sequel, but then obviously we see it for the characters because they're fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Watch Kingpin. It's probably his best movie for Woody Harrelson. It's great.
I approve.
Let's see. So, the monster truck.
Mm-hmm.
I got super
Monster
giddy.
It was just great how that was. I think I said it earlier, but that was like my favorite running joke was just Woody Harrelson trying to find a new car, so he didn't have to drive the van, and that was just really funny. I could not even imagine driving a monster truck.
When
That was
Madison
terrifying.
said, "My mom has one of these,"
he just wanted to kill himself, right?
yeah. When he said he had to commit seppuku for having to drive it.
That was a good little tangent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did we think the monster truck was done at that point?
Yeah, I honestly didn't see it coming in the finale.
I had
I
a
only knew it
little
was
feeling
coming.
that she was going to come back into it, either in the way that she did, or they would get through everything and then he would go back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
I
didn't
knew
know
like
how
she
it
would
was
come
gonna pan
back,
out, yeah.
but like, in that finale, I just was like, how the fuck are you guys gonna get out of this one?
I thought
I
he
did
was
like
gonna
that,
come back
though.
with it.
With them circling that little stand, because that was another throwback to the first one.
When they're
Oh,
when they're at the
yeah.
carnival.
yeah, when he's in that little.
Mm-hmm.
But
Shooting
now
through
it's
the
all
walls
of
and
them
stuff.
in there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I guess like we lead up to the safe haven, right? Is that what
Babylon.
Baby
Yeah.
Lon. Baby Lon.
Which the no guns is fucking retarded.
That was-
just
the fact that they melted them, I think, pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like,
why
just
not
put
just
them
put
somewhere-
them in a burial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything. Like,
Yeah.
But then, like, I guess
It's not like
they didn't establish why they were burning it. But
Until
then
the end.
it was funny when they
Makes these little
were like, "We make
peace
these little
signs."
pieces." I'm like, "Oh, of course you would!" Like, because there is a shot where you see the guy pouring, like the
Molten.
yeah
steel.
lava.
the steel
Steel.
into something, but I couldn't make
Yeah,
out
yeah.
what it was. I didn't know what it was.
I think there was like a shot of them handing him one of the metal things by it.
I just didn't make a
First
connection
time.
that is
I
what
saw
the
it
gun
hold
was.
Yeah.
The girl holding like
Yeah.
in the
Dude, that guy just wanted some group sex.
Yes, he did.
That was well, it was so funny when he was like, "No group sex." I'll have group sex. Like,
Okay, group sex.
Especially when, like when they were just doing a group hug. It's like, why is that
Yeah,
the
like-
first thing you think of? And also, why is that the second rule? And there's only 2 rules.
Yeah.
What happened
what
like,
the first time?
group sex of like? I don't
You know what? They had
know.
group sex with guns, and something went wrong, so they had to ban both of them.
I like
Fucking
the little line
hippies.
where he's like, "I hope you like stairs," because you just see like how tall that is to the
Yeah.
very top. That would fucking. Suck. How many floors do you think that was?
Also, where is that tower?
30.
Yeah,
Oh god, no, more than that.
No, it had to be way more than 30.
Is
Yeah.
since the
50?
first one was
That's
filmed,
probably
I think it's almost CGI. I don't think that was a real tower.
right? But it kind of looks like it's modeled after a real tower
possibly.
Yeah.
because the first one was filmed in Georgia.
Yeah,
So
which was a
assume-
fun fact. The opening
Oh, was it
scene
really?
where Jesse is talking about like just like some of like the people that die, like
Yeah.
the different like there's one scene and like that's my fucking school down in Georgia. I'm like I walk that street every day. Like it was so
Oh,
weird like
huh.
seeing it. I'll see if the second one was filmed in Georgia or not. But we're gonna bring it up.
Oh, because that tower just looked like it had a specific look to it, like it's from something.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely didn't belong where it was, though. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, no, I think the movie's too new.
There's a lot of common sense with that group of people. It was just like, do you not know that sound attracts the
right.
zombies?
Right, like they were kind
Light
of
off fireworks.
Yeah.
and music.
Like obviously they had to have some contact with zombies to make this
Yeah.
whole homestead, and just like, why do you have no common sense?
one thing.
Is it
How
just
would Woody
dumb hippie joke?
Harrelson get from there to like get back and then
Right.
have enough time to discuss a plan, build
Yeah, that
said
part was
plan?
kinda,
I was like,
it's just a fast truck?
Fast
I mean,
track.
they were booking it.
They were
Those
booking
zombies
it.
were booking it.
Yeah,
Also, they
like-
were weirdly like running to the side when they finally saw it again. Like when they got their attention
Yeah, because
grabbed.
they were running towards it, and then once you cut to them again, they're running like past it.
Yeah.
Like to the fireworks. So it's almost like the
Yeah,
plan-
when they made the sign to grab
Yeah.
their attention, they were
then
running.
it brought them towards it.
They were running like parallel to it,
Yeah.
and then they looked to the left.
And then plus just the fact of like he hit a zombie and none of the zombies went after his truck.
Right.
whatsoever.
Well,
It was-
they did say that
They had
once
their eye on the prize.
Yeah, once the
Yeah.
T-800 lock onto something, then they don't
Mhm.
lose their sight on it.
Them- I-
so then
I
why
guess
did
it
it
makes
the
that
zombie
up.
that got hit didn't go after the truck?
Because he didn't lock eyes with the target. Like, it's just a metal
It
object.
wasn't enough to like distract them from.
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
fireworks were still going off.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say like he got hit, stood up, made eye contact, and then took off.
Yeah, no, see, that wasn't the plot hole for me. The plot hole is what Kyle brought up, which was like, how did he get there? Or,
Yeah.
sorry, Andrew, you brought it up. How did he get their time to talk about all this and then
Yeah.
set up like a fucking biodiesel bomb?
Yeah,
Like, that's a lot of effort to
Yeah.
get done.
But then I like how it didn't even really work. So
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
nice that it
Yeah,
really,
that's
I mean,
really
they thought it worked.
yeah.
right.
But
Or like, did it work? But there's just so
There's just
many.
too
Yeah,
many.
I think there's
Yeah.
too-
Because you
like-
didn't see any zombies like on fire.
Yeah.
No.
So I think it did work. Just it wasn't
Just for that
big
first
enough.
wave,
Yeah.
and then the rest just came.
It just
in.
really bothered me, just like how fast it went from planning to doing it to we're dead. It was
Yeah.
like all within
Yeah.
5 minutes.
It
It's
was
like, oh my
really
God.
rushed, and that's
Yeah.
probably my biggest gripe with it. Like the climax
Yeah.
is rushed. So it's almost like the writers or writer. I don't know who. I don't know if it was like the director. He was just like, "Fuck, I just gotta end this now." Like I'm just like, I gotta go. Like
Like I have no other like sequence I can fill this with.
yeah, there's like no more jokes. I guess I'll just do it. The big zombie fight.
Like, did any of you guys have like an idea of how they could beat these T-800s?
I just think that they made the stakes too high. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think because the first one, there's not as many. I mean, there are a lot of zombies, but all the characters are spread out, so there's more time to flesh out the time space. When you have all the characters together, you can't cut in between characters to make time go longer because they're all in the same group. So
Yeah.
that's why I just felt like it was moving a lot faster because there was no. But then when Lord Bid, when they did cut, it was to Madison, and it was fucking annoying when she was just screaming. But
yeah.
I feel like it would have made it better if like instead of all of them going to the same like little outpost thing, that they had different ones.
yeah,
Right. And then they do the same thing with them swarming them, but just different little buildings that they're in.
Yeah.
Then that way you can jump from each person to kind of extend it a little bit. But
I wonder if this was always the original like climax. I wonder if he had another idea for a big showdown.
Mm.
But
I'm sure there was because the script had been going on since 2017, which I heard. But that's when it kept getting surrounded by like, oh, this is rumored and stuff like that. But it got shelved.
yeah,
Or even if they did like a whole like, oh, we lied, we have a secret stash of guns, then that would have been like a funner sequence
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see.
Well,
Or
I
like
think-
if the group sex guy was like, I lied, I have this dope ass minigun.
I was
Yeah.
hoping I'd get group sex out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like as much as the monster truck was fun, I would have liked to see more zombies just get blown up by guns.
Yeah.
And more hippies dying.
Yeah, nobody
Like
died.
they didn't
Yeah.
they missed a huge opportunity with that because they made the joke about you die first.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was so ready for
Yeah.
him to die. Like
And
Yeah.
the only thing that happened was one hippie and Madison had a moral quandary of having to throw things from like 100 feet in the
and
air.
then every
And then
time
every single time they
And
hit
every
a
time it
zombie.
hit.
and it was like
Yeah.
a fatal like
Yeah,
death,
yeah,
pretty much.
like
that.
pinpoint.
they had
accuracy.
like a 50% accuracy rate.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but like one of the items was a huge ass watermelon.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
One was a
I'm like-
toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, none of this makes sense.
I mean, I guess falling from that high up, it'll.
I mean, yeah, it'll kill
Yeah.
you.
It was-
Yeah.
But like to hit them,
Yeah, like
Every
that was a
time.
little stretch.
it's just like you need to like predict when to throw it and like
Yeah.
where to throw it, and then like
And then
When
like
they start
7
running
seconds
in,
later
it makes
hit.
more sense because obviously everything's all cluttered.
Well, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like,
But
you
individual
knock out-
zombies.
I thought it was gonna be like each individual zombie is gonna take on each individual person because they kept doing the camera switches back and forth. I'm like, all right, who's gonna get fucked?
did you guys fear for Woody Harrelson?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Towards
Kept
the
hearing
end,
you,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't see them making a third one, so I could see them killing someone right here.
There were moments where I was just like, I feel like I kind of felt like almost like in the middle of the movie, like that Woody Harrelson, like I assume he likes to play this role, so that's why he
Yeah.
made it till the end. But like, there are moments in sequels where like the main character, the first one, dies halfway through or something.
Yep.
So I really thought that was gonna happen here, I'm so glad it didn't.
Yeah.
But then, like, Josh leaned over to me where we haven't even mentioned it, where we find out that Woody Harrelson is like has Native American blood flowing through him.
Yeah.
And so there's the callback of when he's running with the buffalo.
Yeah,
And I'm
so
like,
I
oh
called
my
it.
gosh, he's going to die. He's going to jump off.
Like
but
he's what was tried Blackfoot?
yeah,
Blackfoot
dude, that was
Drive.
hilarious. That was great.
Like
Honestly,
running
with
through
how,
you right
like-
now.
What was he doing? Like the chant when he's like saying the words.
Oh,
to
he
himself?
was
Was somewhere in the
going
van?
through Native American names to figure out which one he felt fit
Yeah.
in the car.
Honestly, if I would have had to like kill one out of the group, I probably would have killed Jesse Eisenberg's character.
It's hard. You can't really kill the main character.
No, you
Yeah,
can't.
no.
But it would have left it very like untold. Like they didn't. Him and Emma Stone's character, like that would have loose ends to it, and I mean, obviously.
How would that work with the voiceover? Like as he's
Right.
with his dying breath, like zooming in.
And
He's
this
like,
is me dying.
So that's how I got here.
But the movie knows, like, it doesn't need. It can tease you that possibly somebody could die, but at the end of the day, they know nobody's gonna die because it's a comedy movie. So like, you don't want your audience to leave depressing that
Right.
the funniest character died, which I liked. But then this is where like my complaints come in is that Little Rock just like just realizes, oh, this guy's a phony. I'm over
Yeah.
him. Madison hooks up with him. Emma Stone forgives Jesse, and like everybody's just everything just like
So corny.
yeah, just fixed
Yeah.
so fast. And I was just like, oh, like this isn't like what I like. And then we joke about it when Jesse makes the reference to like, I want to go home. Where's home? It's here. Duh.
Yeah, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
ha, no.
It would have been okay if somebody else said, let's go home. And then just
Yeah.
like, we don't need a home. We're home.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, still corny, but like the fact that he said we should go
Yeah,
home
like-
and then he answered his own
Yeah,
question.
that's the epitome of someone bringing something up so they can say that.
It's almost like a
Yeah.
bragging thing. He's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
of this cool line, but
Yeah.
Like total flex on his part.
Honestly, the whole the part with Emma Stone, like pretty much saying yes for marriage. That one I don't have as many complaints with. Only because
Yeah, if they
it
just
was
did that.
right. If it was like out of nowhere from like the beginning of what they went through till now, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of stupid. But like through the whole timeline of okay, I came back to fix this. Oh, she's still here. And then you got like the whole situation of like, okay, well, this is Zombieland sort of thing. Like, who else am I gonna go to? Why else would I be tied down with nobody around here?
Yeah.
I had
So-
anxiety that whole scene when
Yeah.
when they were on the ledge. I was like, get away from the goddamn ledge.
I also had like anxiety when they were going up the stairs, and like that's when I
yeah.
first like feared for Woody. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, because
he
it
could,
looked like they were getting closer to
Yeah.
him. Like,
That reminded me of World War Z when Brad Pitt was running up the stairs
Oh, yeah.
doing the same thing.
I've seen that movie
Dude,
once.
what
in theaters,
exactly
too.
like was the plan for that?
You disappoint me.
To blow up the thing and then lead the zombies in because the people are up there to lead them off the roof? Then why'd they get in the thing to be circled?
I don't think they expected that many.
Yeah, I don't think
Right.
because they said
like maybe 10.
stragglers, so they
Yeah.
thought there was going to be like less than 30 or something.
Yeah.
But then it ended up being like
And then
80.
the roof was the plan B?
I don't
Didn't
think
he
they
say
had
that?
Plan
I
B,
think
honestly.
Jesse Eisenberg-
Well, no, because they
said that
taught them
too.
how to do like
Yeah,
Yeah,
they taught
I
him
think
how to
it
make
was,
that. Like,
yeah, so I think it was a plan B, but they didn't establish it. I'm just like the last like 15-ish minutes of this movie is a mess.
Yeah, I just think the writers wrote themselves in the wall. It's like, we don't have guns.
Yeah, they kind of
We
like
don't
shoot
know how to-
themselves in the foot because it's a funny joke, like getting rid of the guns. But
Yeah.
then you're just like, fuck, how do we kill zombies? We don't
Yeah.
even have guns.
Like how I mentioned earlier, I think it would just be, it'd be lazier, but a little more funny just to be like, oh, we actually lied and have guns, because that's would have a more
Yeah.
entertaining ending.
Well,
Yeah.
I wonder if there's some kind of like, you know,
And you can still have the monster truck.
there's
bring
some
that
kind
back.
of like monetary thing going on with it, like with the producers. And
Right.
they're like, okay, you guys have to set this to like 1 minute and 30 because we don't think it's gonna sell.
That's
Like,
true.
I
It
don't
is-
know.
it
I'm not.
is
A
like
very short movie.
It's
Yeah.
like Rambo. Rambo
I
is
think
like
the
crisp, a movie pretty much.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like
the
just
fact that we had to
cross
wait
that threshold.
probably made it fell a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we would have
True.
gotten out at like 9:30, 9:45.
Because if a movie is shorter than like an hour 25 minutes, it doesn't like you're just kind of like the average time is like 1:30 is like the perfect like for a short movie. I think
I think that's what it was.
I think for me the perfect movie is like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I agree.
That's like a great amount of time. I can go as much as like 3.5 hours, and then that's kind of like pushing my limit.
An hour and 39 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
It felt a lot shorter. The first
Well,
one's like
it
very.
really did.
The
I
first
feel
one's
like-
shorter for sure. though.
I don't know how much of like a big thing it is, but I think like a big thing to why we felt the movie felt shorter than what it was the no previews thing. With
I don't
the
think
movie.
Maybe I don't
To
know.
me,
I don't know.
to
I
me
was
it
caught up
is.
on BitLife.
Yeah, we were zoned in on that.
But I know, like, after sitting through previews
My
for, like,
cats.
at least 20-25 minutes, you're like,
Right.
okay, I'm
Dude.
ready for the movie to
When
start.
Kratos died,
I don't agree with that though.
you and I.
What?
The whole previews making it seem
Well,
shorter.
then again, how often do you see movies?
It doesn't matter.
I think I get frustrated.
But
I think
that really
I think the
doesn't matter,
previews
though.
make it feel like longer.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
was saying. That's what I was like.
Because like with how, in my opinion, when we saw Endgame, I thought that felt like the same amount of time that this was, just because of everything that happened. You know, like
Well-
I didn't feel like I was there for.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
just perfect pacing at that point.
And
Yeah.
the other thing is like this movie was so enjoyable throughout almost
Ex-
every
yeah, yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
I had a
that
smile
it
on my face.
feels-
like,
Oh,
a good
yeah.
amount
Yeah,
of it,
like
so.
the endorphin release is just constant with this movie. So
Mhm.
you
And that's
don't
what you get
realize
with comedies too. Like you
Yeah.
you just don't see how long it is. or-
Exactly. Whereas with like Endgame and some other like longer movies, there's gonna be dull points. There's gonna be like the
I
kind
didn't
of
find any dull points in Endgame.
Honestly,
It was just
with
constant
that
action for me. It was
and
like, oh hell yeah.
Hateful Eight, those two movies to me didn't feel like 3-hour movies. Now, if you try and sit me down and watch Lincoln,
dude.
I will.
Don't get me started
I will
on
shoot
Lincoln.
myself. I don't know how Jacob.
I mean, we're good.
Sorry about that, guys. Some more technical issues.
Double tap. The double tap. Technical issue for the double tap movie.
There you go. It's meant to be.
Meant to do
But
that.
That was
just to
insane.
regain our thoughts, we were talking about the pacing of the movie,
Mhm.
and we're not sure because we kind of like listened to it for a few seconds, but
Right. We'll move
Kyle
on.
saw that or looked up that the movie is an hour and 39 minutes, so it is a little bit longer than we all thought, but was still pretty short with the ending.
Mhm.
That being said, if there is one big gripe, it is the ending, and it's just everything just felt very rushed, very
Yeah.
corny. Everybody got their happy ending,
Mhm.
and I guess the first one didn't really lead up to a sequel. Would you guys want to see a third one?
Yeah.
If it's the same cast, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think the story would be?
That's what I don't know.
Kids.
Kids,
Like,
If they wait another 10 years,
introducing kids into
Like-
like if Jesse and Emma Stone brought a
Yeah.
kid into the world.
like I'm thinking a hilarity factor of the movie Silence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's a new type of zombie.
Yeah.
And it's a zombie that is like
Can hear.
super sensitive to sound and
Yeah.
super vicious.
And
I
there's
feel like
fucking
that'd be
babies and
dangerous
shit.
though, because with all the spin-offs of Quiet Place,
Yeah.
because that whole
Quiet
like
Place,
genre
yeah.
is kind of played out
Mhm.
right now.
Or
Because if
they
you look on
could-
Netflix, there's two
But in
movies that
10
copy.
years, if they wait another 10, that's what I'm
But
saying.
yeah, yeah.
Well, if you really think about it, they could try and extend a movie on what the ninja zombies were because they didn't. I mean, they
Yeah.
touched base around it, but they didn't really.
Yeah,
show
I mean,
it
you know
all.
what? They were probably there the whole movie.
I mean, Josh just made a
They just
face
didn't
like
tell.
That's true.
ninja
Oh
zombies.
my god.
I didn't
there's
think
the,
about-
there's
They
the
could've been
fan
there the whole
I
theory.
just
movie.
want to watch it to be if they're if they're in the
Okay,
background.
yeah.
There's the fan
They're
theory.
just chilling in the
Shit,
back.
yeah, I
They're
didn't
like,
think
all
about
right,
that.
they're done.
Because they said that the only thing you know about the ninja zombie is
when
your own
you're
screams.
your own screams.
Yeah,
So
that's
what
the
if they
first
what
thing
if they
you hear.
are just in shots like of people driving and they like, just see one?
Or what if the T-800s breed with the ninja?
Oh god.
Yeah. What if zombies start dating?
So they're just
We
like
might
spec
need to
ops.
make one more sequel.
new movie?
Yeah.
What if the next movie is zombies adapting into the real world, and so they start getting like a conscience and they start living a life, and it becomes like a zombie.
So-
world.
I feel like that's a
Wait,
stretch. Though.
That
That's
almost,
like
that almost
Warm
seems like
Bodies.
a weird spin on Warm Bodies.
Yeah.
I was just
Okay,
about to
yeah,
say
okay,
that.
yeah.
Warm Bodies and the ending of Shaun of the Dead.
True.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Never
guys.
mind. Never
I know the
mind.
big fix for another sequel. You bring in Dwayne Johnson.
all right,
No.
you're done.
Oh no!
Or
Dwayne Johnson as a zombie, and he's the
And-
boss.
and he
And-
gets someone a rock bottom.
And
Adam Sandler.
oh my! I forgot. That's what Kyle wanted. Kyle wanted to do a segment of a podcast where we just talk about Adam Sandler movies.
That would be the
Uncut
best podcast
Gems.
ever.
Have you seen the trailer for
Fly down
Uncut
for
Gems?
Uncut
I
Gems.
actually have
No, I
not
haven't,
seen
actually.
the trailer for that
It's
yet.
like Adam Sandler is trying.
And I swear to God, do not look at Kevin Garnett and go, "Is that a basketball player?"
Because you'll get yelled at on the internet like Caleb did.
Even though I'm the only one that noticed he was a basketball
Yeah,
player.
I know who that is. So
Yeah.
I'm good.
He's also in the movie with The Weeknd. The Weeknd is also in the movie.
Yeah, he was like one shot.
But he's probably going to be in it.
Right. If anything, it was the basketball player and the guy from Sorry to Bother You are going to be the big
Yeah, the two big
side
guys.
people.
But yeah, that looks good.
Did you just say an Adam Sandler movie looks good?
Because he's actually trying.
Oh my
It's not
God.
him going on vacation with Jennifer Aniston.
Hold on.
It's also a serious
So-
movie.
Hold on.
You're
Never
telling me
lose-
he didn't try in Waterboy?
That's different.
No,
I'm
it's
talking about
not.
like the last like 10 years.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Guys, we need to make sure we don't lose this podcast. I look stupid. He said Adam Sandler was looking good. He cried at a movie. Next thing you know, Josh is a real lawyer. Caleb. I don't know
Okay, you
yet.
just
What-
said we don't need to lose
Yeah,
this
what-
podcast,
I'm
but
actually
you're
Christian
making it even
Catholic.
worse.
I don't know what
just
you're
shut
trying
your
to do.
mouth, sir.
You know, quick. Okay, everybody, what's your favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Oh my
I
god!
can't pick.
Longest
you can't
Yard.
do that to me.
Longest Yard.
Longest Yard.
Probably
That is a
Longest
good one.
Yard.
It's a forgotten one.
Yeah.
You can't do that to me.
Wedding Singer or Click.
I just don't care for Click anymore. I've
I
tried
can-
watching it over and over, and it just.
Doesn't click.
Ah,
I can give you my top four.
Hand me the
I can't
drums.
pick-
Oh
Hand me the
my
drums.
I can't pick between the four.
can you do
They're
2?
gone.
No.
3. That's a clean
Four
number.
is my.
Clean number of 3. Top 3. No order, just top 3.
Oh fuck! I can't decide between.
Oh, come on. You have to be.
You don't know how much I like Adam
What-
Sandler.
what are
They're
the
his
four?
The
children.
four. All right, Big Daddy.
'Kay.
Right. The Waterboy.
Okay.
Billy Madison and
Okay.
Happy Gilmore. Like
That's
those
four.
are the classics. You can't.
Okay.
I can't rank
Okay.
them. They're
I mean,
just.
they are definitely good ones. They're all good ones.
And Zombieland 2, if he was going to be in it.
if he was.
That'd be number one.
I still think 50 First Dates is still underrated.
That movie was not good. I'm sorry.
Moving on.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, thank
there's
you.
your little Adam
Yep,
Sandler
all right,
bit. That's all I want.
all I
Talking
needed. I'm happy.
about
I'm good.
big celebrity cameos, let's talk about
Oh,
the
here
end
we
credit
go.
scene.
The end credit scene, mid credit scene.
Fucking Bill
Um,
Murray.
I didn't want to bring it up, but yes, there is a shot, I think in the most recent promotional video for Zombieland 2, where it's the shot of, they cut it as, I think the poster shows Zombieland instead of Garfield 3, and it's Bill Murray, and it's the person saying, why did you make this movie? He's like, for the Coke. Like, but like they were like implying that like it was for him, like why did you make your cameo in Zombieland 1? So it's smart marketing for like, they were just like, oh, he's just pushing this movie because he was in the first one, but no, he's in this one.
That was a good edit because they also didn't show Woody Harrelson in the Elvis clothes. Right?
When he was walking out,
Yeah.
so that was a little. I like when trailers do that where they lie to you.
Yeah.
In a good way, not in the Rogue One.
Yeah, not-
recut
not
What I
cut.
Rogue
hate
One.
though with
I
trailers
think we
is
learned that in Avenger.
Yeah, Avenger,
Yeah.
Infinity War,
Enough.
and Endgame.
I don't like trailers anymore because sometimes I won't name out specific movies, but they
No,
show
fucking
funny
just
stuff.
Do it.
There's too many to count though.
Ah, touche.
But like where they show the funny stuff in the trailers,
And
and
then
the
that's
stuff's
it.
not in the movie. Like,
Yeah,
that pisses me off.
Or they show you all the funny stuff in
Yeah.
the trailers.
And then you
Yeah,
realize
like
that the
this
movie's
is the
not
funny
funny.
movie.
And that's what sucks because like that's a huge point of like pulling people in. They give the best
Yeah,
jokes
yeah.
and bet that they'll bring.
Like I
out
get it
people.
in a marketing term, like you want people to see it, so you put out the best stuff. Mm-hmm. But then you gotta like follow it up with more funny stuff.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why
So it's
when like
not-
you guys said we are gonna see a comedy, and I obviously knew it's Zombieland, so I was like, okay, this is gonna be funny. But
Yeah.
I have not seen a comedy in fucking years because of that main reason. That not a lot of comedies have been very good recently because they give you the jokes in the trailers,
Yeah.
and then at that point you're like, well, what's the
It's
point?
almost like you have to go to find a funny movie. Like comedy can't be the main genre.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Like there's gotta be
Like
like,
it has to be like
action
this, where it's like
underlying,
like an action one, or like. But like when you go to like Holmes and Watson, which is just trying to be a pure comedy, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And, I feel like as movies progress, that's going to be what happens. Is that comedy as a genre itself is going to die, and it has to become like a sub genre for other movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like a great example is like all the Marvel movies now have some of the greatest lines ever,
Oh yeah.
and like
But it's
and-
hidden behind that action.
yeah, they're hidden behind that. So like, because like so many great like that's America's ass. Like that's a great line.
Hey Todd
from-
Phillips, calm down.
What?
You heard his comment, right?
What?
He's like, you try writing a comedy movie in this woke culture.
Oh my! I did not.
You didn't hear
actually-
about that?
I didn't hear about
Dude, a
that.
ton of people were clowning on him, pun intended, director of Joker, where he was like, a big reason why he doesn't do comedies anymore is because he doesn't think you can.
I think
nowadays.
it's hard.
I'm so
yeah.
tired of people saying that kind of shit to us millennials and being like, we can't do X, Y, and Z because of you guys.
Yeah,
like,
I-
come
I
on.
think
hate
that's
that.
bullshit. If you make a comedy, you're gonna reach a certain like category of people.
Yeah.
Because now people are just like, oh, I'm offended by this. I'm not gonna watch it. But you're gonna get like us, and we're probably gonna see it more than once, and then buy the movie. So it's like you're still reaching that audience. It's just getting
It's
smaller.
subjective.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think
Get
of the most
over it.
yeah. Like you gotta
recent
know what you're watching.
comedy that I loved, and I want to say it's Mike and Dave. Was like the last like comedy,
comedy.
yeah, pure comedy that I loved was by Mike and Dave.
Saw was probably Good Boys. That was probably the last comedy.
Yeah, I didn't see that because I just thought it was super bad but younger. So
because like you get in that territory, and would you call that an adventure comedy? Because they, I haven't seen. I don't know if they go from the trailer.
A
Looks
lot
like
of
they
it
wanted, like, an
was a
adventure.
lot of stupid kid humor.
Yeah.
Completely...
Did they do a Fortnite dance in that?
oh, there's a shot of them all in the bathroom, like saying like we're bad, and like they're doing Fortnite dances.
Yeah. Well, I think comedies and horror movies in particular are very easy to do bad. Like I think it is very easy to just kind of put in the minimal amount of effort and then blame it on the audience instead of blame it on your own lack of creativity.
Yeah. That's like horror movies now. They're just going back to reboots. Like that's all they can do because they don't want to stray out and do something different.
Yeah.
A good
People not
example
like it.
of a fresh one would be Cabin in the Woods. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Mhm.
It's a fucking amazing, hilarious
It is.
movie.
Wait, did they remake it? Or you?
No, I'm just saying like it's an original movie
Yeah.
that makes fun of horror movies in a
Yeah.
comedic way, and it's great. And then even before that, I think I just back like in April I watched Scream for the first time, and that was another horror comedy that did good. I also love all the scary movies,
Have you seen the new Halloween movie?
like the one that came out last
The
year.
most recent one.
Oh, I
Yeah.
fucking hated it.
Really?
Oh, I hated it.
It's because you worked on it.
That is also true.
You worked on that one?
Yeah, I worked on that for the last like 2.5 weeks.
Oh, that's not bad.
But no, like for me, that one, I thought that it just was like disgracing the original, which I have such a high.
Yeah, I can.
That
And
is
isn't
still
there
four?
like one or two more coming too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they
they signed
announced them back
contracts
to
for
back.
it.
They just
Yeah.
started filming the sequel.
Like I can get why you didn't like it, but I liked it as a fan of the whole series because like that's like behind Friday the 13th. That's probably my next favorite like
Yeah,
horror movie like
the franchise.
series.
Or, yeah, okay.
like all of them. Like I like them just because it's something
I
that
love
I like.
H2O. H2O is a lot of fun.
See, I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of horror movies whatsoever, but I feel like after I've seen them,
Being the black man.
they focus.
offended.
Yeah.
Right, I just like, I think they focus way too much on jump scares now,
Yeah.
and that's what makes horror movies.
Well, okay, see,
God, you gotta look at
this is a good
Hereditary
point.
now.
This is a good point because Hereditary was really good because it, and the
It was all atmosphere.
yeah. What's the Jack Nicholson one where they're up in the ski lodge?
Shiny.
Shining. Thank you. I remember reading this article, and there was one time when he's at the typewriter, and his wife comes up to him and is asking him like, "Why are you being so crazy?" Basically, and they intentionally removed the chair that's in the background of the shot behind Jack Nicholson, and most people don't recognize it that it's gone, but you don't consciously recognize it, but your subconscious does. So you become unsettled because of that. And I
Right.
feel like a lot of movies aren't using that kind
See,
of
like,
creativity.
Those
Like
are the
horror
movies that I
movies.
like. The ones that are just like they make you feel uneasy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But you don't
Like,
know what it is.
Exactly.
Which is what horror movies are supposed to
That's
do.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I'm
not
not
so
saying-
much jump scares,
Right.
but like I feel like more now horror movies are like the disturbing, not really jump scary, but like you feel like it could be real. You know what
And
I mean?
like disturbing imagery.
Yeah,
and stuff
I
yeah.
want
like
more
that.
like thriller horror, not like paranormal activity horror.
That's
Like,
not
don't
even
get me-
horror.
like,
That's
don't
just
get- horror,
stupid.
Well,
really,
it's
yeah.
classified as horror.
For
It's
sure.
not.
But it's like, I mean, it's not like I'm saying
We
I
were
don't
watching
get.
4 and we were laughing
Dude,
at it. Like that's not horror.
Paranormal Activity 4. Dude,
Yeah,
what does
you-
Robbie do? What okay, let's
What
all
is this
find
kid
out-
up to?
Let's
Like,
go
what
find
is
out
he doing?
what is Robbie doing, man? He sees this like this imaginary kid who's floating around. He's like, "Yeah, man, I saw you stab my mom. Let's hang out."
Yeah.
Like, no one ever.
What?
It was actually funny when I arrived to their house. They're like, Mitchell, you're gonna have to wait like another hour. We're watching this.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like we sat down at my house and we started watching Paranormal Activity 4.
Such a random movie.
Yeah,
It was
on
it was
AMC.
what was on TV.
Okay.
Yeah. But we started watching it, and then we looked at our phone. We're like, "Oh, Mitchell's not going to be here for an hour."
Yeah.
Okay, so we just started watching it, and then he shows up. We're like, "You gotta wait, man. We're
Yeah,
invested.
you gotta
we
wait."
gotta find out what happens." Like,
yeah, I started walking. I'm like, I guess I'll go turn the car off. And then I was like, oh.
We got like an hour.
yeah, there was
and
another
30 left.
45 minutes.
He's
We gotta
like,
go.
No, we're going.
Well, super reeling it back
For sure.
Yeah.
to Josh's comment talking about bad horror movies and bad comedies. I think those genres they really leave themselves open because you can make a lower budget horror and comedy, like good comedy movie. So people see that and it's like, oh, I'll just try to make a comedy. I don't have to spend as much money. And then when they don't focus on the writing at all, that's how you get your bad comedy, your bad horror. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess
that's
that's
how, like,
the last time we see pure comedies are bad because they don't focus on the writing at all. Whereas when they focus on action, then it's like, all right, we got to put a budget towards it. We got to actually put more work on it. Be less lazy.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of goes back to the whole getting all the jokes and all the jump scares out of the way in the trailers. So is this a writer's problem or is this a marketing team problem? This
When
is a
you-
good
I think
question.
it's
Both.
marketing.
I think it's both.
I think it's the writer has such a hard issue, and everybody, because when you're writing a script, especially for a
And
comedy,
studio issue. I'll
it
throw that
has
in
to
too.
be relevant a year from now.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it's going to take roughly a year for your script to get into a movie, to get edited and promoted. So sometimes, like, if your jokes are just dated, your movie's not gonna be good. So I think a lot of it relies on an actor to make a comedy feel timeless, where you can watch it whenever.
Sure.
And
Mike and Dave.
yeah, Mike and Dave. Like, there's nothing in that movie that makes it feel dated. But then a scene I can think of where it felt dated while watching it in Holmes and Watson was when Will Ferrell was wearing the "Make America Great Again" hat, like taking a stab at Donald Trump. I was like, this is already like, this should have came out like years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like when he started running for his campaign.
Like, this has been a meme.
Like he's already the
3
fucking
years
president of the
now.
United States.
God,
like
that
this
feels
joke's
like
like
what is this, Family Guy?
Yeah.
yeah, like it
Jeez.
just, yeah, like it just didn't feel right. It just, and like Family Guy is a good example of like feeling dated, and that's why I don't watch it. But that's why South Park strives so well, is that they can pump out an episode so fast, so it's so relevant. Like something that happened on Monday, the episode could be premiering Friday, and it is talking about what happened on Monday.
Dude, these
Comes
last
out on
2
Wednesdays.
episodes.
Get it right.
Sorry, I've never watched an episode, but I just know that they can punch out an episode really
yeah.
fast.
These past 2 episodes have been crazy too.
Oh,
'cause they've
man.
been
Dude, this whole
hardcore after
season
China.
has been like, we're gonna
And so
call
that's
out
like,
everything.
if anything,
that's-
that might be like the god of comedy is
Yeah.
South Park. When you look
That's
at
why
it,
they're on their
been
what
going
24th
so
season
long.
Yeah,
or
and
something
you
like
could
that.
relate it back to Robot Chicken when we were growing up. Like that was
That's
the
true.
big thing for us. Like Robot
that's-
Chicken and Red versus Blue were
That's
like
crazy.
all
South
right
Park
as-
is doing what The Simpsons have been trying to do: stay relevant.
That is
Yeah.
true.
That's
Yeah.
true, yeah.
I feel like The Simpsons had their like heyday early.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was
And-
their problem. Like they
But
just
now
kind of
they're
fizzled out.
predicting the future, like when
That
they
was
predicted
back
the
back
Donald
in the day,
Trump.
though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They did
I think
the
it also
Twin
helps that South
Towers,
Park is just
creepy
off the
shit.
rails, where
Yeah.
Simpsons is still like
Well,
family.
yeah,
TV.
because The Simpsons is on Fox
yeah.
Those
and
theories
Comedy
are
Central.
crazy.
It's like you have more flexibility as to
Right.
what you can
Theories.
talk about.
So
Yeah.
we've heard from the side of Andrew the writer's aspect of it. What do we think? I've heard some of you guys say the whole marketing side is part of it as well.
I think it's more the consumers.
You
In
think it's
my
consumer
opinion.
issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Casuals.
Elaborate.
The way
casuals.
the way that people want to like enjoy movies now has changed so much. Like,
Yeah.
they expect something to like not talk about this, but talk about this.
Oh my god, look
But,
at the
like-
Joker, dude.
Yeah, like there's so many things that you can but you can't talk about now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like
It's like, who
We
are you
get-
to say?
yeah, like we expect too much out of movies and we go to see it but we like it but we dislike one part of it and then we shit on the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like it's not really fair to the people that make the movie.
Yeah.
Like I liked your entire movie except for this 2-minute segment and then that just ruined the whole movie for you. Like it's
Yeah.
Sometimes now these movies are getting pumped out for certain crowds.
Yeah,
rather
like
than
it's-
everybody.
it doesn't make sense.
Well, it's becoming a lot easier to pick and choose. You know, like you can go online in an instant and rate a movie.
oh
Well,
yeah.
there was
Right,
like
man.
there was
Like,
like
yeah.
stuff I was
Or
reading.
even before.
Yeah, exactly. So
mic's
like
right here,
you know,
buddy.
but
Oh,
before.
Some guy was
Keep
just like,
talking
well, there
that
was
way.
like, there was like something I read the other day where like I'm a big fan of like the Austin Power movies,
Sure.
and they were talking about like maybe making a fourth one, but like the whole
God, that'd be awful.
Haven't they been done for like 10
sexualizing-
years? Like,
yeah,
no,
but,
like,
like
they-
20
are
years.
making
one.
well, they're making
Are they
a Rush
really?
Hour 4.
They're making a Dr. Evil movie. That's what they're doing.
Okay, that
okay.
that's different because that's a spin-off from
But
the
like
original.
you
Like,
think about the movies and it's like the whole comedy around like sexualizing women and stuff like that is not gonna go over well with people now.
Right.
I
as
mean,
opposed
except for
to
that
that.
select few people that are still in the mindset
Right.
of, you know,
That's why I was like, it's like
Or the
okay,
people
well
that
now
don't
they're
give a shit,
picking
like-
and choosing audiences, and then like
It just
Well, comedy changes and evolves. I mean,
Mhm.
Right.
you could look at a Charlie Chaplin film, and the funny
yeah.
thing was walking around a double door
Yeah.
or a sliding
Yeah.
double door,
Yeah.
and then slamming a guy's head.
Yeah,
Like,
it seems
like
like
shit.
it is falling down. Like studios and writers aren't adapting,
no.
Yeah.
and so they're doing less comedies because
Well,
it's
they
just the
feel
fact
like
that the
grading-
funny stuff changes so quickly from year to year.
Yeah.
Like you can't predict what's going to be funny in a year from now.
Hell,
like
there's,
when the
like,
movie's done.
different
Like
memes.
Adam Sandler.
There's,
like
like,
Adam
different
Sandler was
memes.
funny in the 90s and the
Mhm.
comedy's changed, so he hasn't been able to make
I mean,
any
it's
good
still
comedy.
funny to me.
Well, and
But,
part
like,
of the issue
but-
is there's so many young guys wanting to get into the film industry, and you guys have firsthand experience of that. Like, it's so hard to get in, and you don't have young guys as writers anymore. You've got 40s and 30, like maybe late 30s, early 40s, late 40s, etc. So they're making jokes that they can't relate. You know, they're trying to do like the Fortnite dances and whatnot,
Yeah.
but it's not funny. You know, like
No.
they're trying
Yeah,
to be
it's the
like,
low-hanging
oh,
fruit.
yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we're
We
like the
need
kids.
Fucking dark humor.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
gonna say,
granted,
like-
Fortnite was. It would have been a good idea like a year ago,
Yeah,
but
Like,
now it's
a
to the
good
point where it's
example is
overplayed.
Endgame.
Like,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
was
that's
it good
yeah,
in Endgame?
that was funny as hell.
Like,
'cause
I thought it
laughed.
was good, but like, I mean, at the same time, I was like, okay, like obviously they're appealing towards kids because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I have not played a single game of Fortnite, so I don't get it.
It's just being
But-
out of touch and being like,
Yeah.
oh, do they think the dances is what's cool? Or like the
Wait,
tropes
what?
and who you play with is what's funny.
Yeah.
It's seeing something and not understanding why it's funny and just putting it in there thinking it'll be funny.
exactly.
When
and when
one-
you don't
one
have
thing-
young guys in your field, it's not gonna happen.
When they went to find Thor.
Come on,
Yeah, when they
I only
walked
saw
into
it
Thor's
once.
house.
fool, you only saw it once.
Him and the
Yeah.
Rock dude were sitting there playing Fortnite, and Thor literally went on the mic and said, "I'm gonna come to your house and kill you."
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
When they went to New Asgard and
Okay.
we saw Thor for
Yeah.
the first
One
time.
thing I want to bring up is that not just comedies and how like different age gaps, like how like 40-year-olds like picture like how comedy is today. Like Martin Scorsese called out
Yeah.
all the Marvel movies and said that's not cinema. Like what you're making is not cinema. And James Gunn was pretty much like, fuck you, Martin Scorsese. I grew up watching your movies and now I'm making movies
yeah,
and you're not appreciating what I'm making. And then when I guess he walked out of the screening of Joker. That's at least what I heard. He walked out.
Scorsese?
Yeah, Scorsese. He walked out of the screening of
Why would he? I would hope Scorsese knows the difference between Marvel and DC.
And it just I was talking to Josh earlier, it just shows different ages as film progresses.
Yeah.
When Spielberg and Scorsese and Coppola and Lucas, when they all came out of film schools and they saw their predecessors, you know, in like the 40s and everything, they're like, fuck your movies.
Yeah.
You guys play it way too safe. We're going to take a risk and do something different. And they gave us amazing movies and broke ground. But now those filmmakers are in their 60s and 70s. And now younger filmmakers in their 30s and 40s are making movies that those people don't like when those people didn't like the movies that the other people made. And so it's just
so it's just like this new wave.
it's just
of-
always, and you know, it's going to be interesting in like 40 to 50 years if we grew up watching James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxies
Right.
and then we make a movie. Because it's a big slap in the face for Todd Phillips to make a movie which is loosely based on two of Scorsese films
Yeah.
for then Scorsese to walk out of your movie.
I mean,
That
honestly,
would-
Scorsese could have left because he's like, these are just my fucking movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then still, that would still like break my heart. Like if I made a movie, if I did like, I don't know, I can't even think of an example.
If
for,
you
like,
did like a
if I made
Muppet-like movie in,
yeah, Jim Henson walked out on it,
Yeah.
I'd have been like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and so like I kind of get where like James Gunn and Todd Phillips are coming. Where like appreciate what we do because you are heroes, and so when it comes to comedy, it's the same way. Like appreciate our humor because that is what the humor is now, and it's always been like that. There's always been generational gaps. It might not be within 10 years. It might be more like
can that
20
be a
to
thing
30.
that we fix? Because that's such a joke of like kids and their music.
No.
Like that's not always going to be a thing.
Be like, I hope that we, like I brought up a good example.
Right. We do kind of feel like the open-minded generation. So
For sure.
is it just narcissistic to think that we will be the first one to be like, okay, we're starting movement? I hope so. That it's the fact that it actually is going to be a thing. That
Yeah, like I just feel like my parents and my grandparents, like they see movies and they like see trailers and like, oh, that movie doesn't look good. And for me though, like I see like at least 50 to 70 movies a year in theaters.
Right.
Obviously, I don't think I'm going to see that much like when I'm like 60. But I
Right.
hope when I see a trailer for a movie when I'm 60, I'm open-minded to it. I hope that I'm not like, oh, like they don't make movies like they used to, or like they're too risque or whatever. Like I hope that like my mindset doesn't change
Yeah.
for the future, even if I don't understand that generation.
Like we say that now until like 30 years from now.
Yeah, right.
It's 2 hours of a movie of a guy doing this
Yeah.
in the theaters going crazy. And we're just like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
See, it's hard to say. It's just the future. It's just different generations, and it's, I mean, like, my brothers and everybody growing up around their age were born with the iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So their generation is going to be really interesting when they get a little bit older. What's going to happen there?
I'm not ready for that.
Because
Not
like
at
my
all.
little brothers are like, I get an iPhone when I'm in middle school. Did you have an iPhone in middle school, Andrew? I'm like, they didn't exist.
Nextel,
No.
man.
They-
I had a
an
beep
an-
phone where I
like,
walkie-talkie.
I had an antenna. Like, it's just
Yep.
interesting that I saw like a little girl at the convention I was at last week, and she was like 4 years old. She had an iPhone like 10,
That's
and I
ridiculous.
was like, huh. I could even imagine what a phone was when I
put
was
Snake
4.
on my phone in middle
Yo,
school.
I
That was my entertainment.
I was rocking a phone that said Virgin Mobile on it. Like,
Is that even a thing anymore? Like,
No.
Now they
not
focus on
even
airplanes
close.
now.
oh man, we're getting old.
Yeah, but,
Don't say that, man.
but like I don't
I'm older than everybody
want
here.
to
yeah, you're dying soon.
I know.
think that. I don't want
Fuck,
that
dude, my
mentality.
back hurts enough. Shut up.
So does mine, dude. Every morning I wake up and like, fuck, this again.
I hope
God damn it.
in a way I can still relate to the film industry at least. Everything else,
Not so much the youth. And
yeah,
like,
not the youth, but at least if I can look at a film when I'm 50 years old and I'm excited to see it because it looks
Yeah.
different and new, I hope I can get that feeling because I feel like it does change.
Yeah.
Knowing you,
So-
man, I think it'll happen. You'll still be
Knowing you,
seeing
yeah.
50 to 70 movies. At
Oh,
the age of
okay. I'll take the middle finger off.
I do hope. I wonder if the internet is a huge part of it because like the older generation isn't as used to
Yeah.
using it as we are. So like we're
That's
more
true.
connected with the world. We know what's more topical.
And that's the thing,
Yeah.
like the older people don't really get access to the trailers and stuff for movies anymore because they don't really show them on TV.
No.
Yeah.
Like it's more or less ads on.
Unless it's like a
YouTube.
big
yeah.
movie.
Well, yeah.
See, that's another
Yeah.
thing too. Is like TV's kind of fizzling out because
Cable
of Netflix
cutting, yeah.
and Hulu.
Yeah.
and you
That's-
never see. Now I could see people putting movie trailers on Hulu. and,
Sure.
like,
Oh
Netflix,
yeah.
Yeah.
but
I've
that
only
would be
seen
such a
like
big.
goddamn Sprint
Clash.
commercials.
Or just
a
like the
funny
banners and
example,
stuff.
just today I was playing a game and I had to like watch an ad, and it was for the new John Cena movie where he's like a firefighter,
Oh god, yeah.
and that movie's totally appealing for kids. And I was like, that's crazy. That like because I've never seen an ad for a movie, but that makes perfect sense because they're aiming for
it's a
kids.
game,
I'm
Yeah,
right?
honest, it looks hilarious to me, and I'm gonna see it. But
because when it comes to gaming, my little brothers like, they will never really know what a Game Boy or a DS or a
No.
PSP is.
Nobody. My little brothers don't.
Because
know that.
this is their Game Boy, this
Yeah,
is their
yeah,
DS,
yeah.
all these games on there, and so it's just it's a totally different generation for
Hopefully the
handheld gaming.
Switch can kind of bridge the gap.
Yeah.
hopefully,
Hopefully,
I don't think it will,
I don't even know if my
though. Right.
brothers
It's
know
one of
what
the
Switch
best-selling
is.
I feel like the
consoles of,
Switch
like,
came
all
out.
time.
Right.
So
I think the Switch came out too early, in my opinion.
too early.
Yeah.
I would
Whatever.
almost argue
I mean,
too
I
late.
think I
Too
can
late?
see it because, like,
Because you're still on the our generation. You know what I mean? Like if they would have waited like another
We can
4 or
afford
5
it.
years, yeah. If
My
would've
little
waited
brothers
another
can't
4 or
afford it.
5 years,
Right.
for the kids
Okay,
to be
kind of,
of
yeah.
age,
But if
kind
you
of,
think
they could
about
ask
it,
for it,
with
Right.
all
and then
these
they,
like
could, you know,
I
older
was thinking-
systems, we weren't really buying them either. We were getting them as presents.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one I bought
Birthday
was
gifts.
was the PlayStation 4. That was the first system that
That
I
was-
bought,
yeah, that was mine too.
and so I just wonder if when my brothers get into high school, maybe if there's a new updated Switch, if that's what they'll want, because it looks more like a phone
yeah,
than an actual console. I am more of a console person.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
just think it's- and I wonder if in like not like 10 years, but maybe like 20 to 25 years later, if consoles will fizzle out. And
They
everything will be
probably will.
and everything will be on,
Probably
like
will.
we'll get a PlayStation Go and we'll get an Xbox Go or whatever.
I can see people
That's another-
doing their own.
I think what the Switch is
conversation.
doing is perfect because then you have that option.
Yeah.
It's a console and you do handheld.
Well,
I think
not
that's
That's the
Switch
thing though,
Lite,
because
though.
the whole PlayStation Vita and PSP came out way too early. Like if you think about it, in today's time, those would be like revolutionary systems.
Yeah.
But we had them when we were like 13. Like
Because
we were just
Nintendo's,
like, oh, yeah, I had
Nintendo's always
this.
been on top of it.
Well, yeah,
But then when PlayStation introduced it, like with graphics that could compare to like a normal PlayStation
Yeah.
2 game, like for me, when the PSP came out, I didn't really need it because I had the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
I got mine as a present, and I was like, oh, I can play like
Same here.
MLB or football while I'm on a car ride or something.
God, this is
So
such a tangent.
It is. It
I
really
do think
is.
a lot of this falls down to like to look at your brothers. I think it's a product of who they came from. Your
Yeah.
parents
True.
don't play
That-
games,
yeah, that is
so they
true.
play mobile games.
I think you're
I know-
absolutely right, Caleb.
I know damn well that my
Mitchell,
kids.
talk
I'm gonna
in this
push.
mic.
I'm gonna push Nintendo and all that stuff. You're gonna push PlayStation on your kids. So I think we just haven't experienced it on our end.
Yeah.
That is
Because
true.
like I've been on subreddits for Nintendo and whatnot, and I see people talk about playing games with their kids. Like, It's really a product of your
it's the
environment.
infamous commercial
Yeah.
in like the 70s where like the little kids watching the dad do everything, and then the dad grabs a cigarette, so the kid pretends to grab a cigarette.
I learned it from you, Dad.
Like, a funny story about that. I give props to my dad because he took my hand-me-down systems. So my little brothers, who are 8 and 6 right now, play on the Nintendo 64 and the Switch. Or not the Switch, the Wii. So it's like they get the old school systems that I was excited about when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have to go through that, like, progress.
Yes,
like,
my brother's just a flat PlayStation 4, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like, they had the Wii and they had the PlayStation 3, but they didn't really use that because they were, like, too young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, their first real system's the PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they are with the console.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, I'm going to have a console. Like, I'm going to
Oh, yeah.
buy the PlayStation 5 when it comes out. And so, it's just interesting to see where it's going to go in, like, 20 years, what's going to happen to gaming. Because I think the Switch is awesome. Being able to play an amazing game like Breath of the Wild on the go when you
Yeah.
don't need that thick system in a TV. You can just do it on this. And you're like, what? This is so thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you put that power in there? But
Right. I guess I do agree with, like, in that aspect, it has come out too early where the technology isn't perfect.
Like, it's a fantastic idea. It's just not...
If they could have made it a powerhouse and then drop it, then it's like, oh shoot, we could put everything on this.
Well, it's also worth recognizing this could be considered a prototype for
Right.
the one that will work 4 to
That
5
is-
years
This was
down
a
the
proof
line,
of
where it
concept.
could end up being smaller, more graphical quality, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but I think PlayStation kind of dropped the ball on that because the Vita and the PSP weren't really that popular.
And wasn't the Vita supposed to be closer to, like, I don't know what the word is, but being able to move saves instantaneously
Yeah.
and play the same game?
It
'Cause
didn't
I
work
had
That was
one.
the idea of what they wanted to
Yeah,
do.
like I had one, and it was nice because like if you wanted to play it but not on your TV, you could leave your PlayStation on and just mirror your screen.
That's true. He kept telling me he was playing it while taking a shit.
I was. That is true.
Yeah.
I played Rocket League while I was taking a dump. I was
my
like,
God.
oh yeah. But like the fact that they advertise like, hey, you can be playing it on here, and then immediately switch to your PSP if you have to go,
Right.
and then you can still save it from there. No, you had to be on the same network. So like you still had to be connected
Right.
to your Wi-Fi.
so you pretty much could
Oh, yeah.
sit in your bed,
Yes,
play the
but like
game.
you just couldn't go out
Yep.
Yeah.
and
That's
like
what
still
happened to the
play
Wii
it
U
'cause
as well.
Yeah, because you
Same
couldn't
thing.
be connected to it. You would have to be on the same Wi-Fi as the
Wii U
system.
was unnecessary.
Yeah.
well, that was like the biggest fail.
And that was also people
Yeah.
thinking that they're the same thing. You bought the tablet, and that was part of it. And
That's
that
why
was a
you could
separate
almost
system.
argue with like, oh, the Switch came out too late because you take out the Wii U and replace it with the Switch.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a difference.
No, I think the Switch came out about the right time. Like
Right.
that's
It perfected what what PlayStation was trying to do.
exactly.
Like if the PSP came out when the Vita came out, and the Vita came out like alongside the Switch,
Right.
you can get best of both worlds. That's what I love about Nintendo and then like PlayStation is that they can just be friends because
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
two completely different things. It's always like
Could you imagine
Xbox.
a world where
There's no Xbox.
the 64 used... if the 64 teamed up with Sony and they used discs instead?
Instead of little
Because then
cartridges,
Sony wouldn't have made the PlayStation. They would
That
be
is true.
working with
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Like, that's
so crazy.
Well, and I think the other thing that makes the Switch so successful is that it's not just a handheld platform.
right.
Oh, yeah,
It is-
it's an actual console.
You
like,
can put it into your dock, and it is now on your TV.
Mhm. Instead of having those
nice
people that are like-
58-inch TV.
I want a 3DS, but I want to be able to play this game
Yeah.
on the Wii.
So
and
it
vice versa.
performs both functions. And,
Yeah.
and that, first of all, kind of hurt Nintendo at first, because now they have to drop the 3DS.
Right.
That's something they figured out, like, within
Yeah.
releasing
And, like,
the Switch.
All the highs and lows they've been through, the one thing that's always been constant is their handheld game has been strong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now they have to drop the 3DS, the complete handheld experience. But in exchange, they gained this nice hybrid that we haven't. And Nintendo is fantastic about this. They have always been the innovators. The first motion controls, the first graphical 3D quality with Nintendo or Super Mario World. Like all
They
these
take
things, and then
risks.
Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they go into massive debt over it all the time. Like
Yeah.
the Switch was their saving grace.
like they don't take the safe route. They go
No. Exactly.
extra
They have
step.
to go in above and beyond because they have big powerhouses like Microsoft and Sony fighting it.
Yeah.
Sony, if their PlayStation went out, they still have their amazing audio quality and
Oh
software.
yeah, they would be
True,
totally
yeah.
fine if the
Microsoft still
PlayStation
has
flopped.
Microsoft Office.
Yeah,
and
Sony
their
has
pl-
a film
Nintendo
industry.
Yeah,
is consoles.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that is it. And when you look at all of the Nintendo consoles and you look at all the PlayStation and Xbox, obviously they've been spanning for more years, but they all look different. When you look at the PlayStation, after the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4, they all kind of look the same.
Sure.
And the 5 is just going to be something
Yes.
completely
It's gonna be
different. Like,
just
it's gonna
like,
be.
yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be purple. But,
It's gonna be
Have you
purple.
not seen pictures of it?
like, actual, like, is
Yeah,
it,
like
They drop
confirmed
pictures
pictures.
of it.
Oh, I've not
It's
seen it.
ugly as hell. Like
Oh.
it is the ugliest system I've
Well,
ever
I hope
seen.
that's not real then. I hope they change it.
Yeah. Like
Um,
this could literally be an entire other podcast.
Well,
episode.
let's,
Just
right.
talk about
let's
video
wrap it
games.
back to film. I'm
Yeah, like,
going to bring up my question I brought to you today. So I was reading an article. Steven Spielberg and another director. I can't remember the
yes.
name off the top of my head. But you can find the article
Honestly,
online.
probably Scorsese.
It might actually have been. It was another S name.
what it looks like.
So there is Steven Spielberg and potentially Martin Scorsese, or whatever his name is.
Scorsese.
Scorsese. Yeah.
I need to
Scorsese.
fucking phone once.
They released an
hand it to
op-ed
him.
piece that basically was saying that Netflix films, Amazon Prime films,
There's no way.
etc., should not be
Oh, that's-
capable of being nominated for Oscars
That's
because they are
confirmed.
only experienced in the home.
Mhm.
They should only be able to experience or to get awards and Emmys because Emmys are TVs that you
Right.
TV series that you experience in the home. So
Yeah.
what are your guys' opinions on that? They are the older generation of directors. They're seeing the generation of cable cutters and the movie, the movie going series is kind of dropping. A lot of people are not going. What are your guys' opinions on that?
Side note: I forgot you had a patio.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just confused me. Anyways, go on.
I have a weird answer because I just don't take award shows seriously anymore. Like
Yeah,
none
I
of the
don't. I
politics
agree.
behind them. So I would totally disregard them. I was like, you boomers and you old people can have your award shows. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like have a separate award then for best theater experience
Sure.
movie. Because
Exactly.
like these are movies.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares if some are strictly on a streaming service?
Yeah.
It's still a movie.
Mhm.
If it's a TV show, it's an Emmy.
Yeah.
If it's a movie, but it's on TV, that doesn't make it a TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm in the middle ground. I try not to take a black and white stance on many things these days anymore, but, and there were movies that I feel like if I had watched them at home, they would be horrible. The
Right.
first example I have is, not Contagion. It was like, what's the other, it's Insidious and then one of their other movies that they make, like, in the same line. It starts with a C.
What the Conjuring?
Conjuring, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to go see Conjuring 2 with 3 of my buddies. We sat in the front row, and we laughed our asses off that entire film. And I swear to God, everyone else in that film thought it was a comedy because when we were laughing, they all
just
started
was-
laughing.
yeah.
So instead of being jump scared by these really corny
Huh.
things, everyone else was having a grand time. and
That's
was
right,
just
because like The
laughing their
Conjuring
asses
is
off.
like kind of highly regarded as like good.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like-
but
Especially the
for some
second.
reason, The
Yeah.
Conjuring 2 just like was not hitting it for us, and we were just making the crowd laugh. So in
Yeah.
that regard, I know what the experience of a theater can bring.
Right.
We turned a horror movie
Into
a comedy,
Yeah.
and it was just 4 guys in the theater.
Yeah.
So some people might have been disappointed by that because they wanted the horror experience.
Yeah,
Right.
the whole feeling of the entire theater being like on edge, like about
For
to
sure.
be scared, like
God, I'm getting flashbacks of like Paranormal Activities, like
Mhm.
PR, where they show like the green and black footage
Yeah.
of people in the
Yeah.
theater, like oh.
yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what a horror movie wants to see in
Yeah,
the
like
premiere.
yeah.
But
want
when
that
you have
scare
these
factor.
4 jackasses
Yeah.
laughing at your movie.
Yeah.
Makes everyone else laugh at the movie.
He's like, fuck, dude.
But yeah, I just have a bad opinion on all award stuff anymore. It's just
Well, and I mean, it begs the question: why are some people getting these awards when
Yeah,
they don't
like-
deserve them?
Mhm.
Like
So much politics
yeah.
behind it.
Or
How
like-
did Leonardo not get an award up until
Exactly.
what the hell it was called?
The Revenant.
Yeah, The Revenant.
Yeah,
There's
one of his-
no way.
A good movie,
He
but
should've
like
gotten
one
one
of
in
his
Django,
lesser
in my opinion.
good movies. Like compared to other his great movies, it's like he should have won for these, not
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So and I think that's a good point that you brought up, Caleb. Was that maybe it's not the question and the concern they're bringing up. It's the concern of like, why do we have these to begin with? Like, what's the real underlying cause of why these award shows suck?
Is it because you guys have your awards and you want them to still be valuable, kind of?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because like if you ask these questions of directors that haven't won Oscars, would they have the same
This is
answer?
very true.
Yeah, for sure. Scorsese and Spielberg have Oscars, so it's like,
I think it's all just a popularity contest.
yeah,
Like that's really all it is.
I do like it though. Damn, Scorsese. If Scorsese wasn't that article, then it's like, dude,
It was
why-
definitely Spielberg, and I don't remember the other one, so
Jesus,
don't quote
dude.
me on it.
Okay, over there, Andrew.
It just got caught.
Scorsese's just like got some opinions that he's getting out now. Take shots at Todd Phillips, or not
He's
taking
just
shots
getting
at
too
Marvel.
old. He might just be getting too old. He's getting crotchety in his old age.
You know what, Scorsese? Raging Bull wasn't even that good.
Oh my God, Raging Bull fucking
For
sucked.
Django
I'm back at
Unchained.
the podcast, by the
Who's
way.
a supporting actor?
Dude, Raging Bull,
Supporting
never
actor
watch
in
it.
that
No.
movie
It's a
was
really
one
bad
of
movie.
You know, watch one
Oh my
scene.
God, of course.
Did you fuck my wife?
That's
Did you
a
fuck
good
my
movie.
wife?
Did you fuck my 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 wife?
Yeah.
Kyle would.
Damn, this was a podcast, guys.
It
Yeah, that
was.
was a good one.
So many different tangents.
I'm really excited to go back and listen to like the latter half of this.
Yeah.
This got very like
Yeah, take
I-
that,
I'm
Jacob.
serious
and David.
about the industry.
You know, I kind of feel like we should do a spin-off podcast, like just like a bonus episode.
We could just
Hell
do
yeah,
it like
and have
a
people
weekly
The
fill
lost
organization.
episode.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I saw this funny ass
Just like
Twitter
a whatever's
post,
on
and it
your
was
mind.
like,
I mean, if
what
you
is
guys
it when you get
want,
5 groups together?
why don't we just like spend an hour or two drinking and then
Well, have you ever heard of the
podcast.
podcast Drinking Bros? That's basically all they do. They
Dude,
just
I listened to a Bears podcast where they do bears and beers.
Dude,
It's
yeah.
like bears over beers. They get drunk and talk about the Bears.
That's all
like,
we have to
it's
do.
Entertaining as hell.
I mean, it's just a common thing. The more you drink, the more you talk.
Yeah,
So-
but like we have valid points though. Like so we be.
Then we have a
entertaining and
variety
we
of
would-
different
And there was
outlooks.
there's
and
a lot of
opinions.
good
Yeah.
shit getting
Yeah.
thrown around.
Plus, Jacob and David aren't here.
Oh my God.
Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We
That
can
way
keep
the mic is
talking
here.
after the podcast.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to bring up about Zombieland because we drove
Let's
so
bring it
far
back.
away
Oh, yeah,
30
that's
minutes
what this
ago.
Bring it back.
Did you drive it in the Beast or a minivan?
We saw that
Minivan.
movie.
It
thought we
was
were
just
talking about Jexy.
awesome seeing Bill Murray
Shut your
beat
mouth.
some zombies up with the
Yes.
chair.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
yes.
good seeing him
I
in
ain't afraid of
action.
no ghosts.
Oh, and
That, I laughed at that part. I like that.
I want to know why did like they just turn randomly? Like why
Yeah,
did Al
like,
Roker
I
turn out of
wonder-
nowhere?
I wonder if it was like the onset. Maybe it was like, because sometimes they have like the virus starts airborne and like some people get infected whereas others don't.
Yeah, either that or one ran into the like waiting room.
Right.
I guess
Yeah.
as
Or
they were
maybe-
in the other scene.
Maybe it's because it was weaker. It took more time to turn, so maybe
Could
Al Roker
be.
got bit like a few days ago.
Oh yeah, maybe.
one joke they didn't bring back was when I was reminded of it was was it Murring?
Murray.
Yeah, Murring.
Marie.
That's just-
Yeah.
Because that was hilarious.
I just liked Eisenberg. He was like, "What?"
Yeah. I know you. What you're talking about. He's talking so fast.
Yeah, he was so nervous. That was great. But yeah, Bill Murray.
They
was
brought
great.
it up like in the credits.
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah, like
'cause he did
Eisenberg
the
was like,
older
"I'm
voice.
so sorry." Like
Yeah,
That's what-
Oh
afterwards,
yeah,
he's like,
but I was
am
hoping
so
that the
sorry.
one character was gonna bring it back, or like
in front of Rosario.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah,
Rosario,
yeah,
that
yeah,
he
yeah.
was. She was gonna find out that he was the one that killed Bill Murray.
Like you shot that one better than Eisenberg hit Bill Murray. And she's like, "What?
Wait a minute, it was you?
How did that news spread? By the way,
Right?
Yeah,
That
like
was
what?
weird.
Who else would have known?
Well, and
Like,
Yeah.
they had references to the fact that like, oh, there's lots of alive people, we just don't interact with them. So I wonder how like in the world of Zombieland, how effective human society is like
Right.
thriving.
Yeah.
Because it seems like some of their like offhand comments is that they do meet people. They just say "fuck you," I'm not going to talk
Yeah.
to you. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like the first one where like Eisenberg had the standoff with Harrelson.
Yeah.
and it's all iffy, like stealing people's cars and
Yeah,
whatnot.
and like
They're
the whole
more friendlier.
Babylon thing, we didn't know about that until later in the movie when they're like, "Hey, let's go here."
Yeah, and there's like a
there's
straight up, like,
civilization.
there's like straight up 50 people living there, and they
Yeah.
have like
Yeah.
fireworks and shit. So
Yeah.
it really begs the question, like how
What else was going
effective
on?
was the zombie infection? You know, where's human civilization? Someone start writing a fanfic. Put a fanfic in.
Yeah, I feel like this could be a really good comic book. Like
It could be.
it could be a fun comic book. You could explore the lore more, or
It would be fucking hilarious if they make a comic book and then they reference it in The Walking Dead.
That'd
Like,
be
Oh my
good.
this
God.
is so unrealistic. So it's like, it's
Yeah.
Or if they watched the movie in The Walking Dead of Zombieland.
there you go.
Mhm.
That would be a good one too.
It's
That'd
like
be
The
fun.
Walking Dead even makes it. That
My head hurts
much
after that.
farther.
I guess we'll end it here. I guess just rating, whatever, however you want to rate it, stars, letters, numbers. Matt did insects last time, so
Insects.
for
Was it like
It was a
out of
weird
10?
time.
no, he just
It
did
was
like
4 ladybugs out of 2 centipedes,
yeah,
I think.
that was his grade.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Is it out of
so,
the length? Like you have to measure.
yeah, I don't
it?
really because what it sounded like was like a D or something. How I
Yeah,
like
like
how
that.
I interpreted it.
Was it
But
for
But in
It was
math mind, that
Joker,
could have
yeah.
been like
Yeah,
an
it was
A.
Joker.
Like you
Yeah,
never
it was
know.
math.
Like,
But, he loved Joker, so I think
okay,
he
so
was
it was an
giving
A in
it was
math
an A
mind,
in
but
math
D
mind.
for everybody else that's listening.
So
I give this 4 Twinkies out of 5 snowballs.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I was gonna do snowball.
I
fucking
hate
hate
snowballs.
coconuts.
All right, what about you guys?
I mean, I'll keep it simple. I'll just give it like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Maybe 8.5 out of 10.
I was thinking like meatballs.
I'll rate it Velociraptor, not a zombie.
Oh, that was a good one. I would give it like
Oh yeah.
I will
Emma
side
Stone
note
was so
though, I
fucking
am going
adorable
to
in
see it
this movie,
again
man.
because you know I liked it enough to go see it again. If
yeah.
that,
I thought there definitely was
helps
another
at all.
viewing, just to maybe notice some little details.
yeah,
I'd probably say like 7.5, 8 is like my range. It's definitely good. Talking about it a little more, I realized that I really didn't like the final battle and the ending.
yeah, it was just
But I do the jokes all pretty much land, and I was okay with the story. But I'm
It's
just
like, do we have to like grade comedies differently?
yeah, I don't really know because really
I feel like
comedies
you
are
should
just
have
based on
to,
the
'cause
jokes.
It's a whole different.
Yeah.
But it's just nice when you look at comedies like Super Trooper 2 or Dumb and Dumber 2, or like the movie came out a well-timed. I know.
Waterboy.
Where they came out many years after.
good H2O.
This could have been another one of those cases where the sequel just felt awkward and everybody just felt old because it doesn't fit. And so I'm glad it did. I'm glad people are liking it.
Yeah, I will say that this one didn't feel like there was 10 years in between. Like
No.
it just picked up right
just-
after
yeah,
the
it
first
just-
one. Like it just
I felt like these,
stopped.
these characters were here the whole time. So, Josh?
Yeah.
I'll leave it on a
keep
more
thinking this is barbecue
controversial
sauce
note.
for
Oh,
some
wait.
Sorry.
I'll leave it on a more controversial note. I'm gonna hit it with a 7. There was a few, final battle scene. Lack of Twinkies and instantly brings it down by 1.
Hell yeah.
Now this
Twinkies
was
are
before the Twinkies got brought back because it was 2009 when the zombie apocalypse hit. But anyways, and
Dude, they should have mentioned the thing that the whole like Twinkies disappearing thing.
Yeah.
Because that happened in between this movie and the last one.
Well, because they wouldn't have had the Twinkie company start back up.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's one of the other things, and then third is the thing I brought up earlier. It's just too short for me. It's probably because
Okay.
we talked about it. Endorphin rush. Every minute was
Yeah.
enjoyable, so it kind of makes it easier to go through, and you don't think there's ever a dull point. It was just a little rushed, I think, for me. I would have enjoyed maybe 15 more minutes.
I think a good spot would be putting something in between the doghouse and Babylon.
Yes, it was kind of like a
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Like, there
Plus,
should have been like.
how did they know? Like, did they know she was going?
I don't
No,
know
or
if
even
they
just
ever
drove.
mentioned that they went
Yeah.
to Babylon.
Yeah.
I think they were just driving and they're like, hey, what the fuck is that giant tower over
Yeah.
there? Let's go
If
check
anything,
it
That
out.
must
add-
be where she is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Add a
that's,
scene where they know that's where she's at.
What's her face?
Rosario.
Said that she didn't mention it, but the guy wouldn't stop talking about it.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
she did. Yeah.
so maybe that was it.
Yeah, because she was like, they left like 3 days ago, but this guy was talking
Yeah.
about
But
this.
they,
Okay, so
they
yeah.
clearly could have added like a 10-minute
Oh,
segment
yeah.
of
Oh,
them
yeah,
doing
yeah.
some goofy shit on the road.
Yeah.
So,
But
Like
I'll bring it
door
up to a
checking.
10 if someone tells me that ninjas were all in that movie.
yeah, if there are ninjas in every
confirmed.
scene.
I don't feel persuaded at all, but I feel like there was some ninjas in that movie.
Dude, there was one, but
There's
I
a,
swear
there's
to
a
God,
fifth
like
zombie that's
the
actually very
ninja?
tiny.
Like-
He's in every scene.
Ninja
Ant-Man
ninja.
style.
He just appears.
Like the ninja just in the background. Just
Dude, I
playing
would have
Fortnite
really
in
loved
the background.
if they did like introduce a new zombie and they're just like, oh shoot, this is zombie number
Yeah.
5.
Well, can we also
Yeah.
give them credit
like a witch
for
or something.
not going with the stereotypical like the boomer, the
Yeah.
tank, the
Yeah,
one
You know what
Homer?
I
the one
would
that
like to
leaks.
see though? If they took zombies from like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
Right.
Like at least one of those.
Yeah,
like an iconic one.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter which one.
the
just like
witch.
the witch.
something that someone
That
would be
knows
so cool.
from a video
The
game.
tiny, or from Dying Light when it's like the screaming child one.
Shit, or something from
or from
The Last of
Minecraft, the
Us.
little mini
like
ones.
the little baby zombies.
That would have been a good
But
one.
I think that would have been a good move on their part because like the audience that they're reaching now has played all of those.
Mhm.
I mean, I won't say the entire audience, but like
Sure.
A good
it's
majority.
more, yeah. Like we would know, and then we'd be like, "Oh shit, we know that." So it would be like it would boost it up a little bit, you know. But I mean, it was still good either way. I liked it.
For sure. Yeah.
Definitely a fun movie.
Check it out.
Check it out. I mean, if you're listening to this, obviously you watched it. I feel like we say that in every
Hopefully.
Not
podcast.
necessarily, because I
Not
watch some of these
necessarily. Some people do
podcasts
like
and I
this.
don't know
Oh
what the
my
hell you're
God.
talking about. I'm like,
At least
Okay,
you,
I don't know what
at
you're
least you
talking
watched some
about.
of the podcasts. That's nice.
I've listened to maybe like 10 minutes of each episode,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
Okay.
okay, I
That's
don't know
all
what
that
the fuck
matters.
they're talking about. I'm not gonna see the
There's
movie.
times where it's like music got boring, so while I'm working, I'll just have the podcast going on in my ears as I'm
I'm
working.
glad our friends support us.
Well, let's just put it like this: if you're watching this and you like pirate movies, don't pirate this movie. Go
Oh.
watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. Don't
You
sell
would
it.
download a car, would you?
Yeah.
Support movie makers.
Yeah.
Pay for a ticket.
So, support these guys. They work their asses
Oh,
off.
yeah,
for
they
it,
did
at
a
the
good
very
job.
least.
Well, I'm glad you guys got on this podcast. It was nice to see some fresh faces.
For sure.
And Mitchell, this is his second appearance.
You know what? That's going to be our code word for the podcast. Pirates.
Pirates.
Someone could finally write a code word in the comments. That'd be great.
Kyle, it can even be you. Just write it.
69th subscriber right here.
Right there, yeah.
I pride
Kyle
myself
was
on
the
that.
69th subscriber.
When we get our first YouTube plaque, I'm going to send him a plaque that says the 69th subscriber.
That's all I want. That is all I want.
Oh man. Well, this
I still have the screenshot of me being the 69.
Oh my God.
Like I have it on my phone.
I hope you made it to the end of this podcast because there was a solid 40-minute tangent. I feel like
On
Yeah.
Switches.
on video games.
It was a good tangent though.
It was great.
It was a very good
We
tangent.
went into like big brain mode on
Yeah,
that
there
one.
was
Yeah.
some good conversations there. I'm really looking forward to listening to that
Maybe
again.
bonus episode while we're still here.
I could do it.
Yeah, possibly. Could do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'd be
we got
down.
nothing going on Saturday, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd totally be down. 100%.
But I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. This has been Andrew.
And Caleb.
Josh.
Mitchell, I'm gonna pull Madison and soy you guys later.
I hate you so much.
You can see yourself out now.
Say, wait, you asshole. You say it after we say our names. Your name's what?
Oh, I'm Kyle.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
Soy!
Goodbye.
Jesus Christ, Mitchell.
Okay.
I like that.
Kyle waved.
Yeah, wait.